Alrighty. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Hello, pup. How's it going? Gonna go ahead and get set up in the audio room. There we go. I'm gonna reset that desktop audio up here. Yeah, I should have it all ready to go, so we can pick this up right now if you're ready. Unless you want me to handle it, in which case I can find a way to do it somehow on my own. Alright, give me a second. Yeah, no worries.
Fat chance, mate.
Ha ha! I knew you wouldn't let me get away with that.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. Bit of a cough coming on, so don't mind me if that's the case.
Okay, well, just make sure you cover your mouth. I don't want your germs coming through the mic, alright?
How?
No, I got the exact response I wanted out of you. So,
Oh, okay.
Mecha Phantom Beasts.
Yeah, I know I said we were doing paramedics last month, but I could make an ambulance monster, but that's about all as far as I got before I decided, you know what, this is too hard right now.
Yeah, the game already has an ambulance roid. Where do we go from there?
Ambulance rider. It's still in the oven. Give me a bit for that.
Blue Gem, what do Mecha Phantom Beasts even do? Uh-oh, looks like someone hasn't watched a certain video.
Go watch it.
Uh-oh.
I'm actually very proud of that one. And no, it's not just because of today's combat music in the first phase of it.
You should be proud of you. You did a really good job on that.
I don't even play with Ace Combat.
No, I mean like the video.
I know, but still.
It doesn't mean it's not cool sounding music, though.
True. Anyway. Oh, am I hearing some echo? Probably not.
Not from my end. Unless anyone in chat wants to let me know. You know, it wouldn't be a Nova stream without.
Don't jinx it. We've already had enough of that today.
Alrighty, so, any preamble about our new Mecha Phantom Beast, or do we want to get right into it?
Well, a little bit of a preamble. So, why I decided to do this today is because when I was doing the editing for Mecha Phantom Beast Explained, there's one thing that I noted, and it's that it's a jack of all trades deck, but what it actually lacks is extenders and efficiency. Even from the time they came out, there's a reason people only ever played Dracosac back then. Or Dracosac, how are you supposed to pronounce that? I don't know.
I always heard Dracosac.
Well, fair enough.
But now that you say it, you're right. There is the Russian influence there. Huh.
The Cossack warrior, yes.
Yeah. So you know what? Never mind. They're all Dracosacs from now on.
But in any case, and also, as you may tell from my silly accent, I'm British. I'm pale, I'm cynical, I drink tea, I eat crumpets, and I like to use the word wanker, right? So...
Hold up, wait a second.
Well, but...
British?
Yep. So, one thing I was asking, where is the RAF representation, man? Come on, I gotta fix this.
That was a huge talking point behind the scenes the entire time.
Yeah, I'm
was
very
like,
salty.
Oh, the Queen's old air boys ain't getting no representation in me Japanese card game, man, was it?
Nope.
And I just had to sit there and be all like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm not fucking company. Stop it.
Alrighty, well, Now that I've had my requisite being racist against British people for the month, it's time for the new Mecha Phantom Beasts. Uh-huh.
Italian? What the fuck? Okay,
All
we've
right.
already pissed away a minute and a half on this. Let's get on with it.
Alright, Mecha Phantom Beast Kespit is a level 3 wind machine monster with 1500 attack and defense. During the main or battle phase, if you control a Mecha Phantom Beast monster as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, change the battle position of one monster on the field or special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. If you don't know what the stats are on these tokens, watch the video. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except machine monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn, and it has the usual stats. Alright, cool.
Right. Now, as I stated in my top comment on Mecha Phantom Beast Explain, humble brag, it's criminal they haven't made a Mecha Phantom Beast out of the most famous combat aircraft of all time, I believe. It's up there at the bare minimum.
Yeah, like, I recognize this plane. Like, I know that this exists. So, yeah, it seems like a big oversight. Because they did all kinds of different ones.
Yeah, there's nobody who has not heard of the Spitfire. Let's be real.
Also, Kestrel's kick-ass, so I think that's a good combination.
Yep, and mechanically, just a quick extender and very easy to summon, and the position change effect that I put on there, it just tells Hamstrat to stop mucking around and actually summon the tokens, you know?
Oh, yeah! Oh, that's good, actually. Hadn't thought about that.
Mm-hmm. But not really much more to add from there. But there's a combo down the line if we've got time for it. But nah, we can reach that when we get there.
Alrighty, well, next up is Mecha Phantom Beast Arrowtail, a level 4 wind machine effect monster with 1700 attack and 1200 defense. Your opponent cannot target a monster special summoned from the extra deck whose original type is machine that uses this card as material with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard while you control a Mecha Phantom Beast monster, you can special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. Standard Mecha Phantom Beast effects from here.
Yeah. 1 second. Oh, damn. Okay, never mind. All right. Well, I'm not wild about this name because, we're not directly referencing the name of the aircraft, which, as you can see, is the BAE Hawk T1. Instead, I went on the RAF's aerobatic team name, the Red Arrows.
Cool. And this is just to give a lot of protection to our various extra deck type monsters.
Yeah, like Conqueruda, for example. Actually makes it into a decent anchor for the board rather than just sitting there.
Thank God.
Yeah, and it also makes Drikosaki even more obnoxious, even though it's pretty reasonable by today's standards.
Yeah. But it doesn't just protect Mecha Phantom Beasts, right? This works for any machine extra deck monster.
In theory. Yeah. Okay, carry on.
Hey,
and also,
I'm down.
I'm sorry. Yeah, also, Red-Tailed Hawk. Any Animorphs fans in the audience?
You got any Birds of Prey fans out there? And I'm not talking about the DC characters. Up top, folks.
Oh.
All right.
There you go. Gary Die time. Oh, no.
Mecha Phantom Beast Lionesna?
Lionesna, like Lioness and a Cessna. There's loads of Cessnas and they all look really similar. Some of them have big flotation devices on the bottom so they can land on water, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the big Indiana Jones ships.
Yes.
All right.
Why did I combine it with a cat and water? Don't ask.
It's supposed to be an ironic juxtaposition.
Sure.
All right. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battler card effects, as you do. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Also, you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Mecha Phantom Beast monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap card that mentions Mecha Phantom Beast token from your deck to your hand. And I forgot to mention that it is a level 6 machine wind monster with 2200 attack and 1600 defense.
No, it is designed to work with Blue Impala to guarantee you get at least one hand rip out of Dracula Slam.
Thank you!
Yes.
Fucking God!
Yep. And the Mecha Phantom Beast lock I put on it stops this card getting out of control because you know what happens with card effects that give you a token for the low price of fuck all. Just like...
Things get a little out of hand.
Yeah, and since you can use this every turn in theory, and assuming you don't discard it for whatever reason, like with Brighten, for example. and also the back row is lacking already, and my lack of searches is definitely not helping it. This is going to do so.
For sure, for sure.
And we've got another one down the line, so stay tuned.
There we go. Mecha Phantom Beast Basilift. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect portmanteau. Rank 6. Machine exceeds monster with 2300 attack and 2600 defense, requiring any 2 level 6 machine monsters as material.
No bestials allowed, basically.
While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to special summon 1 Mecha Phantom Beast token. You can attribute a Mecha Phantom Beast token to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck during the turn you use this effect, except machine monsters.
Okay. So it deploys our monsters fast because they're not very good at getting themselves out, despite what Scramble might depict.
Scramble! We're scrambling.
Yep. And it just has... Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I also like this is just another thing that we can use to summon out Colt Wing because we have the other Mecha Phantom Beast out, so that just turbos us out really quickly.
Sorry, yeah. It just allows a little bit more flexibility than Lionesta does, but in terms of its restriction. But the machine locks should be sufficient, unless I've just completely glossed over something.
I think it should be fine.
Famous last words. And quick basis note. This is the Boeing Dreamlifter. There's a similar model by Airbus / aircraft. It's called the Beluga, but I cannot find any mythical creature that combines with that. And even if I did, I would just be made fun of for not making it a beluga whale. So, like, what do you call that though? Beluga luga. That's dumb.
The Levialuga. Get the Leviathan in there.
Nah, I don't know.
I like this one better though. Basilift, just mwah, it just flows. What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up what that's for. What in the heck?
It's a massive. It carries parts for planes from place to base, basically components like wings, for example.
Okay.
I think it's only second largest to the Cossack / the Antonov plane. Sadly, it was destroyed in the ongoing conflict. I cannot really talk about mention by name. Not this thing, but the Antonov thing. But moving swiftly on, we're wasting time on this. I like this name way better though.
All right. The Mecha Phantom Beast Lycantrus?
Lankatress.
Link to Machine Wind Monster with the east and southwest, so bottom left.
Basically, whichever way Auroradon does not point.
Nice pick. 1900 attack. 2 non-Link Mecha Phantom Beast monsters. Cannot be used as Link material during the turn that it's Link summoned. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can attribute 1 other Mecha Phantom Beast monster and choose one of your opponent's main monster zone or spell and trap zones. Destroy all cards your opponent controls in that chosen zone and one of its adjacent monster and or spell and trap zones. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn.
Right. So, as for that restriction, it's a bit of an elephant in the room. And while Auroradon is banned, and every now and then I debate if it can come back at all, but I really think that Konami has learned some future-proofing by now, but what do I know?
We can only hope.
Yeah, and also, Mecha Phantom Beasts do not already have any meaningful interaction in the opponent's turn as it stands. Like, I think the most they have is Black Falcon, and all it does is, like, turn something sideways without even having the decency to turn it face down, so...
Ooh. Spooky. But no, yeah, letting it be like a 2-for on removal, at the very least, just like a Dryden, we can just ping a card every turn, or as long as there's no trade for it.
I would say it's more like a quick effect Spring and Ship Explorer, because the Lancaster is a bomber. Yes, and also, some Merkins in the chat might be asking, why not the B-17 Flying Fortress? Well, firstly, the selection of legendary creatures to choose from that can be combined with the word Fortress is kind of slim, off the top of my head. Secondly, shut up, the US has had plenty of reps already.
Yeah, come on! We're doing the British time now, get with it!
Well, I guess, sorry, wow, that's dreadful. The Cessna and Boeing are American, I believe, but whatever.
Yeah.
We have some. We have some flowers here.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Lastly, we have Ground Hanger. a field spell card. When this card is activated, you can add a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck to your hand. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck during the turn you activate any of the following effects except Mecha Phantom Beast monsters. During your main phase, you can special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Just there you go. If any number of Mecha Phantom Beast monsters are attributed, you can special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your graveyard in face-up defense position or face-down defense position. Ooh.
So yeah, you're setting up Hamstrat again. So Casper can flip it right back up and get your tokens going again.
Yeah!
And like I said, I never enter Blathnir as the base of operations for this archetype, but come on, you've got to repair them somewhere. Like,
no, yeah. Absolutely. And honestly, it's been about time because this theme has needed a field spell. And if you're thinking that they have a field spell, they don't. Your mind is playing tricks on you. It doesn't exist.
No, it did not exist, at least not until Ultimate Flagship Ursatron came along. Monster field spells. Wait, hang on a minute. Is Exceed Override a field spell? I can't remember.
It is a field spell.
Oh, fair enough. I was going to put the artwork for that now I think about it, but I just forgot, as you do.
But that's the thing, right? It's all in there. It's all in the art. Almost nothing to do with Mecha Phantom Beasts. It has. Yep. It helps one of them.
That one being
Drakosek.
Drakosek, of course, yes. Yeah. But anyway, as for Ground Hanger, I know Mega Raptor does monsters, but you still need some setup, which it's already eating your normal summon to get that search. And O-line aside, that normal summon is kind of precious.
Yeah, and like you've added on here, like with our previous level 6, we're locking ourselves into Mecha Phantom Beast. So we're there's about as much risk of this getting abused. I was hoping I would find a good comparable.
Segue?
Yeah, comparable there, but no, it's not very likely going to get used for anything else out of this. So I think as far as a field spell goes to make the deck function, I think it's exactly what it needs.
Yeah, it just naturally allows extension out of your grave just by playing your deck right, by tributing your tokens, and enables a ton of combos that way. And we simply don't have time to go over what's possible. But nevertheless, one-card combos are still a little bit tricky, so I think it's reasonable.
All right, now show me that combo. I wanna see what's going on.
Okay, I don't have a link for this, but I'm just going to describe it. So you activate the hanger to get either Kespit or Hamstrat, whichever one you're missing.
Okay.
Set your Hamstrat, and then you activate Hanger's effect. Hanger's effect to pop out a token.
So now I have a Mecha Phantom Beast monster.
Yep. So that means you can summon Kespit from your hand because you've got a Mecha Phantom Beast monster, and then flip over your Hamstrat and get 2 more tokens. So you link those both into. Sorry.
I got 3 tokens, Hamstrat and Kespit.
Turn 2 of the tokens into Lancatris, which gets you some blow up your opponent's field in their turn. And also Hamstrat. Oh
no, that's a Link monster. My bad.
Yep, and then Hamstrat and Kespit are both level 6 now because you've only got 1 token left, so you turn them into Basilift. And then Basilift attaches Hamstrat to pop out a token, which you can then tribute to summon, I don't know, bloody... What's his name? Coltwing. And then potentially you can bring back the Hamstrat and just extend from there. It just gets really crazy. Yep.
Yep, sounds like that's finally getting us the board of beasts that we need to actually use the deck's actual boss monsters.
Actually deploy a decent fleet. And also, Ground Hanger also makes vertical landing and scramble really funny, because we're tributing tokens with it. And best time. Wow. Despite all of that mucking around at the first 90 seconds of that, we actually made good time there. Nice.
Hey, good job. Alrighty, well, then unless there's any last-minute additions or info that we need to get in there, I'll go ahead and get this Nova scale started.
Well, there is a highlight my message in the chat that you might have missed.
All right, who's trying to get my attention this time?
Dona Zenonkai, I believe.
What do you... it's not showing up on any of my feeds.
Can I do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
You should mecha your Phantom Beasts right now.
Now!
Okay.
Alrighty, so novelty. So the direction that we're taking with these cards is as the extenders. So we are trying to make the deck its own specific theme that we don't have to keep splashing other members into. You want to take a Mecha Phantom Beast deck to a tournament and actually win with Mecha Phantom Beasts. I'm gonna give it a 3 in novelty.
We could have done it before.
yeah, established theme. We're using tools we've seen before, but we're finally letting the deck breathe and be its own thing. So
Or,
honestly, with how
or
little representation Mecha Phantom Beast sees, I think that's enough for me.
give it its own wings, so to speak.
That's yeah. No more putting Auroradon into every synchro deck ever made.
Like, screw you, Halqifibrax. Like, it's unbanned on Master Duel, isn't it? Auroradon? Like,
Yeah, Auroradon is still legal. I think Hulk is banned, but not
yeah.
Auroradon.
Does anybody actually use Auroradon right now?
I haven't seen an Auroradon combo in a hot minute.
Well, that's probably the problem then, Hulk. But
All right.
there's a reason that Platinum Gadget doesn't let you use it as link material immediately.
Yeah, because machines are busted.
Yes.
All right, speaking of busted cards, objectivity. I'm feeling a 5. We have great effects here. They're really strong for our theme, but there are a multitude of you can only make machines, and you can only make Mecha Phantom Beasts when you activate a variety of these effects. In fact, I think the archetype-specific lock overrides the machine one more often than not because just the field spell says only Mecha Phantom Beasts, and I don't see any of these cards running roughshod over the format, so I think a 5 is fine.
Yeah, and Lionesta does that too, but again, like I mentioned earlier, if you're just generating a token for absolutely nothing, then you have to have a meaningful restriction on that.
No, absolutely. That does take it from being a reasonable card to have for a theme, and it's Dragon Link again, but with machines.
Machine Link. I remember like kicking myself when the agent stuff came out and Fairy Link was looking to be a thing, but
Oh no, go ahead. I'm just doing a little musical number.
I wasn't talking about Sulfur Cord.
Boo! Boo! Everyone knows we're actually doing Melodious, you putz. Anyway.
Amazing Guardians fan. Cut me some slack.
Alright, so versatility. The fact that we keep locking ourselves into Mecha Phantom Beasts does kind of mean that it's like we have this and other random machine cards we can tech into this, but we're certainly not taking any of these cards and exporting them out into other decks.
That was that was pretty much the intention of these restrictions.
Yeah, so 2-1 versatility, but a 2 that was designed in there, so that's good on that. And
it is staying in its airspace. I know you say staying in its lane, but I think airspace is more fitting in this case.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. And then awesomeness. Look, it's a 5. You brought up the pictures to compare them, so I get a really good feeling for what they would look like in my mind's eye. I think the cards themselves lend themselves to the actual playstyle while amping them up without turning them into a gigantic Link slurry. So I think it was a fantastic execution of the idea. I think Lionessa is a incredible execution of what you can do with custom cards because, yeah, now we can use Jacuselin as it was intended to be used now.
Yeah, and also, actually, I forgot to mention this earlier. I never entered Black. We already mentioned Enter Blacknir, but it makes Enter Blacknir like kind of hard to hand loop with, basically, all this stuff. Because like hand looping isn't fun, like unless you're the one doing it, of course. In which case,
all right. So yeah, 15 on the Nova scale. Excellent work. Good stuff.
Not bad going. So, what am I taking next month, huh?
Well, are you gonna do the ambulance now?
Maybe, but NHS is underfunded a bit, you know. But I don't want to get into that.
Alrighty, well, then I guess we'll see what funding is at. Are there any other things to pick from?
Well, Jess suggested Scareclaw, so maybe. It's probably been done a bunch of times on this whole thing, but I'll figure something out.
I know you will.
Okay.
You have the mind of an artist.
But I'm a scientist.
And that's what makes you so dangerous.
Oh no.
All right, take care. Have yourself a good one. Have a good night, okay?
Bye now.
Bye.
Don't burn Twitch down unless it does that itself.
Don't test me. Don't test.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Oh, okay. I better get the hell out of here then. Bye now.
Bye. Okay. So, excellent first wave. let's go ahead and get that reset. Clock is reset up there. And let's tab over to Millennia's, which is perfect because I think Millennia is in chat. Millennia, swing on by and let's talk about your Dinomorphia cards. Someone say burn Twitch. Yeah, they did, but don't listen to them. Hey, Millennia, how's it going?
Hey, I'm fine. Thank you for having me here again. Is my voice okay?
Your voice is a little low, but we're also picking up a lot of background noise from where you're at.
Oh, hold on.
Let's clean up this list here.
Testing, testing.
Ooh, that is 1,000,000% better.
Nice. All right.
So, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm fine. It's yeah. Honestly, when you were having the technical issues before, I was just woke up as well, and I think I was like what an hour late or something. So honestly, when I saw that you were rescheduling, it's like, oh, thank God. Okay, I hadn't missed this one.
Yeah, Divine Providence showed up just to help make some room for you. So,
Thank God.
thank you, Divine Engines that run the universe.
Thank you. The dual terminal that we meet along the way.
Ah, blessed be those who follow Sophia, and may she just outright obliterate us in her disdain. So,
Indeed, indeed.
Dinomorphias. So, what was the what brought that up?
Yeah. So this is honestly one of the reason was I mean I just love Dynamorphia, dude. I just love Kent Regina so much, but playing Dynamorphia nowadays sucks so bad. I mean, they have Rexterm, they have the floodgates, they have the 1 point interaction. A lot of them, destruction, negation. But one of the most like just fucked up thing about Dynamorphia is that they never recover. They can, despite being a trap deck, they can never grind game because they just keep sending things to the graveyard without ever recovering it, right? So these cards that I'm making try to answer that problem. A lot of them will be shuffling things from the graveyard and even banishment to the deck to be reused later, or as you will see later with one of the card, just um let's just say reappropriate what the Tearlaments do. Aside from that, like it's like
Just a little
fusion
bit of
summoning
stealing,
by
just a little bit.
no, not stealing. It's called redistributing
True,
Tearlament's
true,
wealth.
true.
Tearlament's near infinite fusion wealth.
All right, well then
Yeah,
let's see what based comrade Dinomorphia has to say on that subject. Time to get started
indeed.
with Danger Zone.
Yes, we go there first because it's kind of encompass what we are going with here.
Alrighty. So Dinomorphia Danger Zone is a field spell card that you can only activate one copy of per turn. Once per turn during the main phase, as a quick effect, you can pay half your life points, and you can't activate non-dinosaur monster effects this turn. Also apply one of these effects. You fusion summon a Dinomorphia fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your deck or extra deck as material, or fusion summon a Dinomorphia monster from your extra deck by placing fusion material mentioned on it from your graveyard and or banishment on the bottom of your deck in any order. Ah, there we go.
Tearlaments and also the effect. So when I was making this, I was doing doing combos and all that, I realized that with dinosaur, it's insanely easy to just have a generic boss monster. I want to try to avoid that, to also try curbing the power level a bit, because dinosaur, what I think we have only like Zolka and Dolga and Lagia and Lars, right?
Yeah, all
For
the evils are ones.
for a yeah, for the proper negation, there are dragons. And then like, yeah, we can make Ron, we can do a lot of stuff with dinosaurs. But like, if I do not have that restriction of you cannot activate non-dinosaur type monster effect, it's this thing can just be a combo enabler for any deck, because it's basically, if you have, just two Dynamorphia cards in your deck, this is just a free summon. So that way I make it so that if you use this, you either going to commit to dinosaurs or already making a board, or what you call it, or it's a quick effect you can use on anyone's main phase. So you need to like use all of your other non-dinosaur type monsters before committing to this.
Yeah, you could argue that in that situation, this still is compatible with all those abilities, right? Because you
Yeah.
could make all those like the Barones and all that stuff, and then you activate this, and then just wait for your opponent's turn to make another fusion.
Yes. And or you can just not being a pussy and play dinosaur pure.
Okay, hey, and you know what? There we go.
There you go.
That's also a mechanical, legitimate consideration. Hey, don't be a coward.
Yes, it's all dino. I mean, the Evolsars can be here. They are practically dinosaur, just calling themselves dragon, but it's all dinosaurs from here on out.
Alrighty, well, speaking of dinos, Dinomorphia Spinosauria, a level 4
Spinosaurus.
dark dinosaur tuner monster with 0 attack and 1500 defense. If this card is summoned, shuffle up to 2 cards from your hand, graveyard, or banishment into the deck, minimum 1. Then add or set Dinomorphia spell or trap cards from your deck equal to the number of cards shuffled from the hand. Also, if your life points are 2,000 or less, you can draw a card. If this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can banish a trap card from your graveyard to special summon a level 4 or lower Dinomorphia monster from your grave, except a copy of this card.
Yes, this is one of the recovery card, the recovery cards, plural, that I mentioned. So Saria is more about setting up and also resource management, because you can shuffle and then add cards, or shuffle and then set. Mostly you want to set, because adding is a draw in fighter. So, and also these can shuffle any cards, I know, but like mostly I use it to, I thinking of Saria, shuffling cards like miscellaneous Horus, the babies, the baby Pterodon, Petit Pterodon, baby Cerasaurus, or like the Animodorn for later use.
Yeah.
Basically, shuffling the utility cards that dinosaur use.
Yeah, we gotta recycle all the destruction magnets for sure.
Yes.
And yeah, and I don't think it's a problem that you're shuffling back generic cards, like,
I mean,
because it's not like you're getting them back into rotation immediately. You're just reloading them into your deck for other effects to take advantage of. So I think it's more than fine. And it gives us more level 4 Dinomorphias for our original duo to pull from.
Yes. And we have other cards as well. Maybe even the mythical 4 or lower Dinomorphia monster.
Wait a sec. There's numbers lower than 4?
Wow.
Hold
Amazing.
up. This is it right now! Dinomorphia Lillian Bambi, a level 2 dark dinosaur monster with 500 attack and defense that cannot be normal summoned or set. While your life points are 4,000 or less, you can special summon this card from your hand or grave. This card can be treated as 2 Dinomorphia monsters with 2 different names for the purposes of fusion summoning. If this card is special summoned, or if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish a trap card from your graveyard, fusion summon a dinosaur type fusion monster from your extra deck by placing fusion materials mentioned on it from your graveyard, and or banishment on the bottom of the deck in any order. You can use this effect twice per turn.
Their pronouns are they them because they're literally two people.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. Okay, so came no summoner set, but it has no special summon restriction, so we can pendulum summon this.
Yep.
You know, just in case. We special summon this from hand or graveyard, so we can keep recycling this.
Mm-hmm.
We can make the ones that don't require a fusion monster entirely with this.
Mm-hmm.
This card is special summoned. Or special summoned or destroyed. It also... Good grief, this thing does everything!
I am pushing her. I'm pushing them to the max with this one.
No joke!
Also, okay, I'm going to say it. They seem like just free materials, because I forgot to add a restriction on this. It was supposed to say if you summon this card, you cannot, it's the same restriction with the field effect. You cannot use non-dinosaur type monster effect. I forgot to add that, because this Lily and Bambi is supposed to help with first turn plays. You can send this with another card that you will see later, or you can send this with, if you have it in hand, you can send this with Meteonis, Xenometeonis to summon itself or stuff like that. I even also I add the, while your LP are 4,000 or less, you can only special summon this after you already cut your life point by half or more. But yeah, a little bit of a noopsie there. But my idea is that they will help you. They will help Dinomorphia decks to play in first turn building boards, which before they can only set 5 prey. If you get like Harpy Ferroduster to your toes, at least we have some monsters, with this one.
So my question is, do we have a way to have our life points that is not our trap cards?
Yes, only the field spell.
Right. Field spell does that. Okay. Okay.
And just that. Yeah. And I think if you want to, extra Foolish Burial can do that, but like, who the fuck plays that?
And then you can't set cards! That's the whole deal!
Yeah!
Alright. Enough yelling for now. It's time for Dinomorphia Sasha Bombaspis. Bombaspis. A Link 2 Dark Dinosaur Link monster with 1500 attack, requiring 2 dinosaur monsters as material with the 2 diagonal downward pointing arrows. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. Pay half your life points, quick effect. Destroy 4 Dinomorphia cards in your deck, and if you do, apply these effects in sequence based on the number of trap cards that you destroy. 1 or more, shuffle 3 Dinomorphia cards from your graveyard or banishment into the deck. 2, set a Dinomorphia trap or spell from your deck to the field. 3, destroy a dinosaur monster from your deck, extra deck, field, or hand. 4, special summon a dinosaur monster from your deck, but negate its effects on the field. Gee whiz, this card is outrageous. Huh?
Another one that I forgot to add restriction. This is a way for Dinomorphia to mingle with other dinos.
Yeah, and
It
it's
only has
not
2
terrible.
But you need to play 4 Dinomorphia cards that you need to destroy from the deck. So if you use her in normal dinosaur deck, this is like a free way to get to destroy the babies or do something like that. Oh, you only put 4 Dinomorphia trap cards in here? Too bad, you draw 1, you can only activate 3. or if you draw more, you can only activate one. And hell, you can't even activate it. You need to destroy 4. So sorry about that. So
Oh,
like
yeah. You have to destroy 4 and then it checks the traps. Yeah, so
destroy
you'd have to
4.
also
Yeah.
have, like, if you have the monsters running in there, that kind of stuff.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so if you do want to splash this into a dinosaur deck, you do have to commit to a lot of Dinomorphias to make sure this goes off.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I wouldn't say no, though, because these effects are cracked! I mean, it does the thing where it halves your life points. So even if you
Yep.
don't destroy 4 trap cards, if one of the things that you pop is Lily and Bambi, now that's live.
That's life.
Once you reach the 3 threshold, you can pop one of the babies, that's live. The free dinosaur from deck, I mean, even if it does have an effect, what? We have the new Xeno from Transcendosauruses, that's a big tuner monster.
Mm-hmm.
A normal dinosaur to fuel those effects. Like, this card is ridiculous! I love it.
We have the replay to show what she can do.
Good grief. Alright, let me make sure that we have time for that one. Let's go ahead and check out
I'm going insane.
Dinomorphia Metropotitan. Level 12 Dark Dinosaur Fusion Monster. 0 attack, 8,000 defense. 3 Dinomorphia monsters with different names as materials for this one. Loses defense equal to your life points. That's fair. Your opponent can only target Metropotitan on the field for card effects. Oh, even for their own stuff. So it's like the Lost World stuff.
Yep.
While your life points are 2,000 or less, the activation of your Dinomorphia spell and trap cards cannot be negated. While your life points are 1,000 or less, Dinomorphia spell and trap cards can be activated the turn they're set.
Yep.
If this card is removed from the field by your opponent, you can banish up to 4 Dinomorphia cards from your graveyard, set Dinomorphia spell or trap cards from your deck equal to the number of cards that you banished, and if you do, they cannot be removed from the field by your opponent this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, this is pretty solid. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'm Lemon saying I giving protection to a floodgate. I'm not. Like you this is not they have no protection. They
It's-
die to like anything.
It's only for the turn. It's okay. Just one turn. Unless we're talking about protecting Rexstrom, in which case, I don't know, play non-targeting interaction. Play droplets.
Literally just dark hold them. Like I
Literally just use Dark Hole.
Oh.
Um,
But yeah.
yeah, no, I dig. What is it? It's protection. It keeps activation being negated. It, like, if it dies, instead of getting another one, like how all the other ones do, this one, like, reloads your entire setup. And you can use the trap card to send 3 monsters to graveyard as material.
Yeah. No, wait.
Because
Yeah,
I don't
huh.
think the trap cards limit the amount of material you can use. Solemn Judgment, they're not playing that. That's a counter trap, right? Dinomorphies don't use counter traps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you can only set the trap and spell. So you can't I don't know, set a other counter trap. And like they cannot be removed from the field. Yeah. I don't think there's a ruling thing about it. Cuz like if you set something and then it indestructible, it's just mean the cards that you were set previously. Like you can, unless you cheat and just move around the cards.
Are we talking about their, like, the protection that you give those cards once you set them to the field?
I don't know.
So the big issue
Okay,
with
yeah.
the templating here is honestly the removed from the field, because that is not templating that is used in cards. Like, we could say it can't be destroyed or banished. Those are like the 2 primary ones. Can't be removed would also cover things like them being returned to the hand or shuffled into the deck. Or I would assume it would cover those things, because like I said, that's not templating that has ever been used before. But it's not unreasonable. Like, it just says, like, your opponent, if it's caused by your opponent's effect, it can't be moved. You could imagine how that would work. So that's fine, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Lemon, please show
Okay,
me the
yeah.
combo. I'm begging you.
Yeah, all right. Let's
Folks,
just go straight to combo.
Lemon wants to see the combo, but we are out of time. Folks, show of hands. Who wants to see the Dynamorphia combo? Let's get some let's get some audience interaction here. Maybe they can push back the sands of time. I'm seeing Zeldreka. I'm seeing Lemon. Okay, let's check out that combo really quickly. You've twisted my
No.
hand. What can I say? You've twisted my hand. I can't.
All right,
Yeah.
fair.
Okay, so Spinosauria, Xeno, Dread, Persistence, and Danger Zone. So we've seen Danger Zone, but we haven't seen Persistence or Dread. So we'll see if those come up. Starting out,
I mean, if you want to read it, right? Well, the combo land.
Ground Xeno. We're gonna add our card from deck to hand. So we're getting Xeno. We're popping the Spinosauria. So that's set up in the graveyard. We're going to use Meteorus because the card was destroyed. It's summoned. We're playing Danger Zone. We're going to pay half our life points to fusion summon using material from our deck. We are sending Lily and Bambi. Things are about to get wild. And Teresia. Shuffle. We're making Kentrogena. In defense position? Huh?
First turn.
Alright, activate Xeno's effect. That gets popped. We're getting Frostosaurus. Kentrogena's effect, I assume, is going to activate here. There we go. That gets us Teresia. And what does that do? Normal Summon, set a Dynamorphia trap directly from our deck. Let's get Domain. Alright, so we got that. We have 4,000 or less life points, so Lily and Bambi are coming out. They're summoned. And we're not fusion summoning with them, so there's that. We're going to get Lars out here using those two level 6 monsters as material. Now, we can't use its effect, though. We can summon it, we just can't use the effect right now.
Yep.
Okay, so we still have that. We're going to link our remaining monsters off for Sasha Bambasis. Use its effect to destroy 4... Pay half our life points as well, that's very important. And then destroy 4 Dynamorphia cards in our deck. And all 4 are trap cards, so we're getting all 4 effects! Alright, we're going to shuffle 3. So which ones are we shuffling back? We're getting back Alert, Sonic, and Brute. The effect basically pays for itself if you pop all 4 of them. Okay, set a Dynamorphia spell or trap card. We're going to get Intact, our latest and greatest counter trap. Third, pop a Dino. Destroy the baby. Wow! Incredible gameplay. We've never seen this before. And then fourth, summon a Dino, negate on the field. Summon the Petite Terrain. Hold up, you're cooking. Alright. So we trigger Baby Sarasaurus, summoning out Oviraptor. Oviraptor triggers its effect. Getting Misk. We're going to use Misk, so now that's active. We're going to banish it to summon Archosaur. Archosaur is going to pop the Petit Pteranodon. It's going to get us Beta Evolution Pill Ultranscendence. That will trigger the Petit Pteranodon. We're summoning out Pankratops. Oviraptor will pop the Animadored Archosaur to bring back the Spinosauria. It was summoned. It'll activate its effect. We're going to shuffle 2 cards. You can't see it, folks, because of how the screen is framed, but Millennia has commentary about the combo on the side, and they forgot to banish Misk, so good for them for remembering. So we're going to shuffle back the Misk and 1 card from hand, and because we shuffled 1 from hand, we can get 1 card from the deck. We're getting Sonic. Alright, so now we're going to overlay... We're going to overlay our 2 level 4 monsters to make Logia. Lily and Bambi's effect isn't once per turn. We haven't used their effect yet. Wait. No, you're telling me you can infinitely summon back this card from the graveyard?
As I said, the only restriction that I was thinking of that I supposed to put in was the you cannot use dinosaur effect, or at least I think you cannot summon after you summon. You cannot summon non-dinosaur monster after you summon this card. I forgot. I forgot. But yeah, no, the unlimited summon is Itetsu.
Okay, well, we're gonna use the effect to banish a trap card to do a fusion. We're putting Kentragina back and Teresia back. We're gonna make Rexstrom. And there's the turn. We have quick effect pop of Pankratops at any time. We have the Link monster, which is just kind of sitting there. We have Lillian Bambi, who has committed several war crimes. Rexstrom, which is the monster floodgate. Lagia, which is one of those powerful negates I've seen on an Xyz monster. And Lars, giving us 2 targeted negations, as well as a trap fusion and 2 counter traps. This is
Also,
outrageous. It's outrageous.
Dread is in hand. It's a Ferret Flame. Plus, if your opponent control a Link monster, it's evenly for them, for the Link monster. So it's Daruma. It's Daruma Dharma.
It's time for the Nova scale. It's time for the Nova scale. That's all let's tell you.
Rex, King Rex says it. This dies to Shifter, but also Nibiru, and
Yeah.
honestly, you kill the field spell and that's it. Like, this combo starts because of the field spell.
You can ash that, right?
You
Use
can
material
add
from the so there's interaction, but Jesus Christ, if they didn't draw the hand traps, this is outrageous. Okay,
Yeah, the no opponent that I have doesn't draw hand traps. It's unfortunate.
okay. This
Ah.
hey, Millennia, shut up. Novelty. So, we're already starting from an established archetype. We're using mechanisms from another archetype to try and make all of this work. We didn't get to see all of them, but we did see some of our new stuff here. I like what I'm seeing here. I think there's a cool popping from the deck, but we want to pop trap cards as a cool angle. So I think it's a 2 in novelty. There's a little bit of spice here. It is helping us to build boards. Like, the only effective monsters here that are interacting with our opponent are ones that already existed. But our ways to set that up is pretty cool and new, so I like it. There's just no way you can't play around Nibiru in this. No, this deck has a floodgate. Oh yeah, it has a floodgate. Yeah, that's why its awesomeness score is going to be very high. Anyway, objectivity. Also, the objectivity score is going to be very strange here because this is very powerful. Holy heck! Like, I know we were talking about how some of these things didn't have the restrictions they're supposed to have, but the version that was submitted has very few restrictions on it. It's only the field spell, and the field spell only keeps us from activating the effects of non-dinosaurs, which means we can still make all those monsters we were talking about, because a lot of them are reactive and not proactive. So, I mean, I think the problem-solving card text itself, though, is pretty good. I think that I don't have any... I know we had can't be removed from the field as something that's not in common parlance, but, you know, if you want to make some new stuff, you have to make new wordings for it. So I don't think that's outlandish.
There will be a lot of adjusting for this. I mean, let me try to have my case here. I've playtest this with friends. Nibiru is an answer. Nibiru is an answer. When you use Lillian Bambi and Shasha, you can nip them. Like, even at this state, you can nip them. They have nothing. They have no interaction.
No, that's true. They're open to it.
Yeah. So, and like again, you cannot use non-dinosaur effects after using the field spell, after later on, if after I adjust it, after you use Shasha Babampis. So you cannot use like, you can make Baron go ahead, but you can just then Nibiru them.
Yeah.
Um because you cannot use the negation. You can go ahead make Savage, you can then like Nibiru them, but also it locks down. I saw Lemon going crazy because it allows for scrap. Again, if you use the field spell, you cannot use scrap because most of scrap monsters are non-dinosaur.
Yeah, not dinosaurs. Yeah, only Raptor is.
So, but
And
again,
even Evolsar. What's the one we don't have here? It's Logia,
it's
Lars,
Lagia
and
Dolka.
Dolka. Yeah, and Dolka could stop Nibiru if we could use non-dinosaur effects, which the field spell has said no, so we can't do that.
Yeah, but honestly, it will be very fucking cool if we get zero on objectivity. The first set in this show. to
Okay,
get a
well,
zero.
but that's the thing. But one thing that Lemon has brought up here, and you did not deny, is that Lily and Bambi can infinitely summon themselves back from the graveyard.
Yes, sir.
So, what you're saying is that this is not the end of this board. We can take this Sasha and Bambisis and this Lily and Bambi, link these off for a Link 3, and then bring back the Lily and Bambi, and then make a Link 4.
But what dinosaur that we have?
It doesn't matter if it's a dinosaur. This is 2 extra monster negates with Appaloosa. Sure, we have to wait for the next turn.
Oh, yeah.
Because then we have to wait for then, but then we have those for our opponent's turn. That's 2 more of those.
I think I should like make it like a dinosaur lock.
It might
Dang
it
it.
might have to be an actual dinosaur lock. So, look, just and like if we, because Lily and Bambi itself does not have that restriction on there. It just requires you to have 4,000 or less life points. You could just not play the field spell. Play this in almost any deck that can otherwise have your life points. Foolish it to the graveyard, and there we go. That's infinite material.
Based.
So, look, I don't give out zeros here, but it is a 1.
Aww.
Purely for this. I know, big disappointment. I'm sorry I can't outright fail you in that one. But this by itself is ruining any format this is in. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we are already in a tier 0 format. If these people exist IRL, we already in like Snake Eyes tier 0 format. What is another tier 0 deck in a tier 0 format?
Yeah, and this is gonna be a secret rare that people are gonna want 3 of. They're gonna price it $150 a piece if we're lucky.
This card will cost $20,000 gorillion.
The first card
The
to cost
first card.
$20 grillion.
Konami TCG and OCG suddenly become a multi-billionaire.
So yeah, there's that. But that being said, versatility, it has to be a 4. The only deck that would not run this by itself would be any deck that cannot use dinosaurs or dark monsters. And Orchist can use this. And it has a restriction on here. So it's just about every deck can run that.
Fair. Very fair.
On-
But Orcus, you need the field spell, though.
Yeah, so you're not ready to the thing that locks you out of your machine effects.
Oh, gosh.
Awesomeness, I'm giving it a 2. Look, Rexstrom by itself is pissing me off. That guy's an asshole. He's a jerk.
Aww. He's a friend. Look at him. He's killing a cop. It's cool.
Wait, hold on.
think.
Wait,
I
never
think-
mind, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, no, okay. To my understanding, who they are fighting against is museum security. So, while they are cop adjacent, we don't necessarily know if they're a pawn of the state.
To be fair, they are in a mag, and I think museum securities don't have the budget for that. So I think this is, um land leased by the the so-called authority, so-called
You you get a 9,
enforcer of
okay? You have a
justice.
9 on the Nova scale, all right? Enjoy your
Fair. That is
Dinomorphia war
fair.
crime. This has been going on far longer than it should be because of these heinous creatures. Enjoy your 9. Good day, Millennia.
Good fucking day, sir.
Yeah, good fucking day to you too. Thank you for your support and your time.
Hell yeah.
God damn it.
All right, where's the
all right. Yeah, where's the exit? Over there. Head out over there.
There's
that
the
way.
exit.
Yeah, head
There you
out.
go.
All right, take care. Good lord. Wow. These are a travesty. I love them. Okay. Next up, I have Cernite on the list, but unfortunately, because of our technical difficulties, we had to start later. So that means that Cernite cannot present. So I'm gonna go ahead and move them lower down the list. That way, that way we can get people who need to present covered sooner. So Blue Gem, if you're available right now, let me go ahead and head on over to your cards and we can take a look at what you have today. If you're here. If not, we'll keep it moving. Alright, let me catch up with chat here. I'm sure everyone's yelling. Level eater at home, true. Okay, yeah, it is mostly Lemon being incensed by the cards, which, honestly, rightfully so. Set that. Let me reorient this. There we go. I'm becoming Worm Ugly Pill. Isn't it, though? Worm Ugly is actually one of the cutest aliens in the game. No shot. Don't worry, I will make less evil cards for next month. I didn't... Hey, hold on. I didn't say not to do that. Hold up. Okay, so... Gem, I'm not sure if Gem is here right now. Okay. What I'm going to do is I am going to run an ad here really quickly so we can get these pre-rolls out of the way, and then that'll give Blue Gem some time. If Blue Gem is not back by the time the ads are finished, we'll go ahead and just move on down the list and see whoever's available to present today. In the meantime, subscribing. If you avoid ads, if you want to do that, like Nightsea. Like Nightsea just subscribed for the 12th month in a row. Nightsea, thank you so much for the continued and amazing support for the channel. A Nova year, a whole Nova year. Exciting stuff. What should we do for the anniversary, Nightsea? Mull that over. I'm gonna run that ad. I will see all of you in just a second. Don't go nowhere. We're gonna talk about rabbits, it looks like. Take care. The wonkiness is a core part of the worm archetype, except Queen, who is more phallic because transgender. Exactly. All right. I'm going to use this break to grab more tea, get more liquid. Review some cards, I think. I don't know. I don't really have anything. I just like your stuff. Well, shucks, thank you. What'd y'all break while I was gone? If you didn't break anything, then you're not trying hard enough. Someone's about Dr. Pepper. Wow. Thanks, ads. One day I will not be lazy and come up with a custom card for the Visas lore that fuses using Visas and a tier card. Whoa, hey there. Huh? Let me thank you for also for a year. What? Incredible. Incredible. Thank you. I think ultimately my goal is to break you. That I think that has become a recurring motif. And honestly, try your best, motherfucker. Also, we have a hype train. I don't know what I'm gonna do if we reach the hype train, but you know, maybe I'll do nothing. Maybe I'll do the most incredible thing you've ever seen. There's only one way to find out, and that's by subscribing to GoldenNova Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch.tv. And all it took was for me to bait all of you with the parasocialness. Thank you, Nightsea, for a 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you so much for your generosity. Train Lover, Tiger X2476, Doc TBC24, Nyx the Blazing Dragon, and Angel Crab. Hope you enjoy your subs, especially Nyx, now that you can avoid ad jump scares for another month. A whole year of being here exclusively to bother Nova about lore plot holes and to bother chat about bad cards. What am I doing? You're doing the Lord's work. That's me. I'm the Lord. The only conclusion is that lore-wise, Rhino Heart and Visas are the only ones who do not have gay sex, and that's a crime because we know that Rhino Heart is the fruitiest of all the Visas hearts. Like, let's be real here. Who am I? Who are you people? Well, Angel Crab, I'm glad to welcome you here to Custom Card Yu-Gi-Oh! Day. We're having fun. Dodged. Yeah, you dodged it because you kept floodgating all those subs with your big old Dinomorphias. What do you think the tier limit's crime was? Just not... They looked at all the women and were all like, you're not allowed to do stuff. The tier limit's crime was Rhino Heart saying women can't do stuff. That's a fact. That's a fact coming from me, the guy who decides all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Lore. Sometimes the fruitiest of men are the straight. That's true. That would be unfair of me. We can't lock the fruitiness behind the queer wall. We have to let straight people be fruity sometimes. The tier limits hate crime. That's what the actual name of the card is. Okay. They do have gay sex, but unlike Lightheart, they're not exhibitionists. Okay, so Blue Gem might have wanted to reschedule because, or like they responded on there, they might think that we're rescheduling, so maybe they're not here today. Straight people can be gay too. Exactly. Were you fruity luck? Okay, we're moving on to the next person for now. If Blue Gem shows up, we'll get them back into the rotation here. For now, I think it's time that we brought Nyx into the proceedings. We talk about some of these outstandingly rendered cards. Which was from... They sent the info over. What is the game these are from? Ah, yes. I believe these are Cardfight Vanguard. So that explains a few things. Like how fantastic they look. And, okay, yeah, I'm in the voice comms. Nyx, whenever you're ready, please feel free to swing on by. And a random pup has decided to bypass the whole, you know, can only be affected by effects that target, and targeted them specifically with a gifted sub. Random pup, thank you so much for your generosity, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello, chat room. Hello, GoldenNova.
Hello, Nyx. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I woke up at like 10:45 and was like, "Oh God, I almost overslept," and then the stream crashed like twice, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, well, I guess it's fine now.
I'm glad we were able to get it working though.
Yeah, thank goodness. I would rather that we cover all this now so that I'm not having to deal with the kerfuffle of rescheduling like 20 people.
Oh, I run tabletop groups. I know how
Oh.
bad rescheduling can be. Don't worry.
All right. Well, thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. All we have to worry about now is wave breakers. Nix, tell us a little bit about wave breakers.
So Wave Breakers was me going. I like balls to the wall synchro combo decks. I want to make a balls to the wall synchro combo deck. So I made a balls to the wall synchro combo deck.
Fantastic. Then shall we take a look at Lancer and get this balls to the wall synchro combo deck afloatin'?
Yeah, sure. So to give some more context, Wavebreaker has Wavebreaker has 6 main deck monsters ranging from levels 1 to 6, and Lancer starts off the 4, 5, and 6 line, which are all the non-tuners. Wavebreaker Lancer is your normal summon in the deck, and summons one of the tuners from deck on summon. And like the other 3, has a level modulation effect where you can declare a level from 1 to 3, and the card becomes the declared level until the end of the next turn. This is sort of in initial testing, trying to finagle your levels and get things to where they need to be was always kind of a pain. So the fact that they level modulate is just kind of designed to alleviate that.
Okay.
Also, another thing to note is that all of the main deck all of the non-tuners, actually, okay, yeah, all of the main deck monsters, period, actually have a water lock on them.
Yeah, it looks like at least on Lancer that's tied to the level modulation itself.
I believe it's just the turn you summon any of them.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I was reading that completely wrong. Yeah, okay. So we're doing water synchro stuff specifically.
Yes. Or at least water stuff. I imagine if you were insane, you could probably figure out some like shark wave breaker deck because the fact that all of them level modulate. Fascinating to think about, but in any case, so yeah, Lancer's one of your main play starters, with the other 2 being Wavebreaker Marksman, the level 5, which if you control it's a level 5, and if you control no monsters, you can summon it from your hand. Starts a chain, not inherent, and on summoned adds just any Wavebreaker monster, and level modulates from 2 to 4. Meanwhile, Captain, if you control at least another water monster, you can summon it from your hand. Starts a chain. On summon, searches a spell trap. The spell traps are really neat, and level modulates from 3 to 5.
All right. Okay.
I do kind of want to take a quick left turn to the tuners. They're not incredibly interesting. One is recruit, 2 is marine, 3 is tactician. They all summon themselves if you control a non-tuner wavebreaker monster, and they each have an effect when they leave the field of synchro material. A recruit, I believe, pops a monster your opponent controls with attack equal to or less than the defense of the synchro monster that used it. Marine discards a water monster to draw 2 cards, probably easily the best one of the group. And Tactician's also pretty good. When it's sent, you can target another Wavebreaker monster in your graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon it, but you can't activate the effects when it's summoned.
Okay.
Sort of designed to facilitate maybe using a level modulation that you hadn't gotten a chance to use yet without letting you also get its on summon effect off. Sort of a mild balancing factor.
Yeah, it's not like the usual effects where it's like that monster's effect is negated for the turn. It's just if it has an on summon effect, that ain't triggering, but we can use everything else about it.
Right, exactly. It's a bit like Speed Lift from the Speedroid archetype, if you're familiar with that. I think I actually lifted some of the PSCT directly from that card's text.
Lifted it?
We can go real quick over to the spell traps. I believe I put Echo down as one of the.
Yeah.
So Echo's the searcher, and I think it's really interesting. A lot of the spell trap cards mess with bullet points and alternate different effects that you can do. Unfortunately, as an aside, this is hell when you're trying to format cards for Dueling Book, but that's besides the point.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, due to some like font kerning thing, if I had to guess, it shifts the text over sometimes and makes it really
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's
it's annoying. But in any case, so Echo targets a Wavebreaker monster you control and applies an effect depending on its type. So Warrior, so any of the main deck monsters, just adds a Wavebreaker monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand with a different name. Sea Serpent, so for reference, all of the extra deck monsters are 3 of them are Sea Serpent, 3 of them are Machine. So Sea Serpent special summons a Wavebreaker monster from the hand or graveyard, but negates its effects flat, so unlike Tactician summon back. And if you target a machine, you just get to non-target destroy a spell trap.
Yeah, just get that card out of here.
Yeah. Inspired mildly by Stratos, who is a searcher and also randomly, like, MST, anywhere between MST to Twin Twisters.
You know, just filling all kinds of roles. Searcher and back row removal.
You know, why
It's
not?
classic. We always do that.
Next is Wavebreaker Mutiny. The quick play spell. This is what I like to call a bone back effect, if you're familiar with the Memento Salon archetype.
Oh, I'm familiar about my boy.
If a face-up Wavebreaker Synchro monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, activate one of the following effects. You can either burn your opponent for damage equal to the monster's attack or defense, whichever is higher your choice of tide, and then skip your next battle phase. Or you can non-target pop a card your opponent controls, and you can only activate 1 per turn. Pretty simple little interaction, a little punish if your opponent removes a Synchro. And then the field spell, Wavebreaker Flagship Leviathan, and this guy is cool.
Oh my god! Oh, I want it. I want to be him.
So let's look at his principal first effect. Water monsters you control can attack while in face-up defense position. If they do, apply their defense for damage calculation.
Oh my god!
So it does the big Benkei thing to all your water monsters.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that all of the monsters so far have usually, with some exclusive, with some exclusion, had a higher defense than attack. That is intentional.
I'm noticing it now.
So, and then you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. During your main phase, you can discard 1 card, add 1 Wavebreaker card from your deck to your hand, and if this card is destroyed by card effect, you can target 1 other Wavebreaker card in your graveyard, shuffle it into deck. If you do, add this card to your hand.
Okay, that's good.
Classic field spell moment.
I was worried about, like, the entire game plan falls apart if this goes away, but now I'm glad there's a way to pop that back into your hand.
Yeah. Dice to Cosmic, but, you know, what doesn't?
Yeah.
Now, let's actually, do we want to do the traps first, or do we want to do a detour over to the extra deck?
Let's do the extra deck.
Alright, yeah, I believe I marked those down as the next cards being interesting from there. So let's start with the level 5, Wavebreaker Depth Strider. Pretty simple little card. 1 Wavebreaker Tuner and one non-tuner Water. None of these are generic. They all take in-archetype tuners and in-archetype waters.
Okay.
On Synchro Summon, it targets a Wavebreaker card in your graveyard and adds it to your hand. On a hard once, and then while this Synchro Summon card is in your graveyard, the first time a Wavebreaker monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect each turn. Okay, this one's worded kind of strangely.
Yeah, it does kind of lose all that info.
Yeah, originally it was a flat protection. Now it's supposed to be like a branded opening where you can banish it to prevent a destruction. I never fixed the wording on that. Sorry.
Do you mean the first part where it says the synchro summoned card, or the
Uh,
rest of it?
So basically, that condition is there to prevent you from like foolish burial goodsing a copy or something,
Mm-hmm.
or extra foolish burial rather.
Okay,
Um,
so that was specific. That was supposed to be here.
Yes. The first time is kind of weird. It's meant to be just like if a while the synchro summons card is in your graveyard. Okay, yeah, I need to tweak this. Sorry about that.
Hey, you know what? It's all good. I can see what the intention was behind that. But yeah, as far as game rules go, it wouldn't remember how it was summoned before it was sent there. Though I think if you said if this card sent from the field to the graveyard is in the graveyard, then it can apply that effect. I think it remembers how it goes to the graveyard.
Right, yeah. Alright, next up is level 6, Wavebreaker Abyss Hunter. Similar in idea, if this card is synchro summoned, you can target one Wavebreaker tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face-up defense position, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase on a hard once. And then this card can attack a number of times during each battle phase, equal to the number of Wavebreaker synchro monsters with different names you control.
Ooh, alright.
Yeah, so it's a little battle trick. Next one, Wavebreaker War Serpent. I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorite synchros. I think I marked it as such. If this card is synchro summoned, target another Wavebreaker you control, gain 700 attack defense until the end of the next turn, and then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can discard one card and target one card on the field. Negates effects while you control this synchro summoned card.
Oh, okay.
A lingering negation, not unlike Melfi Mommy, I believe, does that, or no? Is it Melfi?
Oh, I
The Melfi of the
forget.
Forest. It's one of the Melfi XCs
Oh,
that has
it would
a
be
similar
Forest.
thing.
I think it's Forest we're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's Forest. Next up is our Artilerm. Kind of hard to pronounce, admittedly. Now this is where things get interesting. 1+ Wavebreaker tuners and 1 non-tuner monster. If this card is synchro summoned, you can set Wavebreaker spell traps with different names directly from your deck, up to the number of materials used for this card's synchro summon. So it's a bit of like almost like a turbulence. And then if you activate a set Wavebreaker spell trap, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains 700 attack defense until the end of next turn, and then you can only use one effect per turn and only once that turn.
Which shouldn't be a problem, right? Because you're like setting the cards first, and then
Yeah, but it's
you're not
also
going to
just-
get the value out of it until later.
Yeah, it's also just to prevent like fringe cases where you summon it on your turn, set a copy of like say Echo, and then activate that, so it prevents you from getting another free pop. Sorta.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Next up is probably my favorite. I like all of the synchros, actually. I should stop saying one is my favorite.
No,
Wavebreaker
at this point you have to make it a
Catastragos.
bit, okay? It's just like this
Yeah.
is my favorite. Here's another one. This is my favorite.
Wavebreaker Catastragos, level 9, yeah. 1+, and then 1 non-tuner water synchro monster, so we're getting into Axel shenanigans. You can only control one face up. While you control this synchro summon card, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Monsters your opponent controls must attack this card if able, and during the battle phase on a quick effect, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of materials for this card's synchro summon, destroy them. That should be a hard one, so I don't know why it's not.
Oh yeah, because otherwise it would just be a board wipe. You're right.
Yeah, pretend that's hard once. And then the big one, the level 10, one's my favorite, Wavebreaker Ocealosis. 2+ Wavebreaker tuners, then 1 non-tuner water synchro. If this card is synchro summoned, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls in this card's column, and if you do, destroy any cards adjacent to any cards destroyed by this effect.
Yeah.
Cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, quick effect, you make this card lose exactly 700 attack defense, negate the activation. So on a soft
Oh.
one, since sort of like a Ganapaloosa type style thing.
I dig, and also I like the idea of it shooting like the cannon forward to like blow everything up, and then it leaves like that kind of like wave wake.
Yeah.
And then it goes out to hit all the other ones. I love that.
Yeah,
That's so
exactly.
cool.
I'm glad you see my vision. Alright,
Oh.
we got a minute left on the clock. Trap card lightning round.
All right, boom.
Wavebreaker Order Evasive Maneuver. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a Wavebreaker cards you control, or when your opponent's monster targets one for an attack, you can activate one of the following effects. Destroy up to 3 cards your opponent controls, and if you do, take 700 damage for each card destroyed this way, and if you do that, skip your battle phase. Meant to emulate sort of like a chaff-style situation. Or return that card to the hand, then draw 2 cards. Also, you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same name as that card until the end of the next turn. You can only activate 1 per turn. Next up, Wavebreaker Order Full Ahead. Activate one of the following effects. Target 1 Wavebreaker tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do immediately after this effect resolves, quick synchro using monsters you control as material, including the summon monster. Or target a non-tuner you control, special summon a tuner from your hand or deck, and if you do immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using only those monsters.
Okay.
And then my favorite one, Open Fire. If you control a Wavebreaker Synchro monster, target 1 Wavebreaker monster you control, lower its attack or defense, whichever is lower, your choice of tied to 0 until the end of this turn, then activate one of the following effects. All monsters your opponent controls lose attack defense equal to the amount of attack or defense the targeted monster lost until the end of this turn, or destroy 1 card your opponent controls for every 700 attack or defense the targeted monster lost, but add them to your opponent's hand during the end phase. So
Intriguing.
it could theoretically pop like seven more billion, but your opponent gets them back in hand at the end of the turn.
Okay, all right. Yeah, for a second I was like, there's no reason not to do the second one until the last line of text. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of like temporary phasing. So it's like, okay, I can dig. It's like returning to the hand with extra steps.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm surprised I managed to get all that in.
It's okay. I stopped the timer when you started on the last one.
Oh, nice.
Alrighty, so that is a really cool collection of water-themed synchro cards. I can see what you meant when you wanted to make that synchro combo nonsense.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we want to cover really quickly before we move on to the Nova scale?
I'd like to apologize for some of the card text being unclear. I was doing some last minute tweaks the other day to get them ready for a stream, and I evidently forgot to hit save on a couple.
Oh, I've been there. Holy cow! Put all this effort into it, good stuff, and then there's not like a "Are you sure you don't want to save before you leave the page" situation.
Yeah, it's just like, okay,
all right,
dies.
cool, boom, I'm finished. Goes into the document, changes a word, dies, does not elaborate further.
Refuses to elaborate, closes webpage.
Alrighty, so novelty. So I think our water synchros are like we've got Crystron. Ursarctic doesn't count. I'm sorry if you're here, Pillick. I'm sorry, but that's not a synchro deck.
Is Dark Synchros.
That deck doesn't synchro summon. There's not a single card on there that says synchro summon this card. It doesn't.
Contact fuses.
Yeah, it's a contact fusion deck. I'm sorry.
Fun fact: I actually made a series of Ursarctic retrains that turns the boss monsters into contact fusions, and also turns the shitty Ursarctic Drytron crossover fusion into a rank 7.
Awesome.
Maybe I'll bring those up someday.
So it's a water synchro deck with all the little bits and bobs that you expect from a big synchro deck. That also fights while in defense position and cares about the number 7. There's a lot of like tiny little pieces coming together to form this big ol' archetype, and I really dig the flavor that's going on here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend like I've got the entire mechanism of the deck floating around in my brain after these 15 minutes, but I feel like this is pretty cool, and I love to see it in action. I'm thinking like a foreign novelty. I think this is pretty cool.
There are a lot of mechanics and moving parts, I will admit.
All right.
You know, you double tuning, XL synchro, yeah, lots going on.
Okay, so objectivity. I know we said that we had a couple things that needed to be, you know, we have to go back in there and make sure we hit save on the document.
Yeah.
In terms of and then we of course talk about Depth Strider and its relationship with how it was sent to the graveyard and how we wanted to figure that. So that's about the problem-solving card text issues I think we ran into.
Yeah.
Power level wise for all these cards, We're basically locked into waters for most of these, so we can't branch out into any other big synchro strategies. So already our card pool is locked into a pretty reasonable range.
No one's making Barone with my fucking cards. Not if I could help it.
Yeah, we ain't letting the French work with these cards.
I didn't mean it like that, but
I mean, how else could you have meant it? You certainly weren't going to say that you didn't like wind monsters.
I mean, no, I'm a Speedroid player.
Exactly.
Why'd you think I made a
see?
synchro combo deck?
So it would have to be the French. Before I dig this hole any further, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4 in objectivity. I don't see anything in here that's like going to break the game open. There's a bunch of really fun effects in here, and we've made it so that we're only working with like what these and Crystron.
Yeah, and like you could make, I guess if you really wanted to, you could make like Bahamut Shark.
Yeah, Toad time! Get the Toad! Speaking of splashability, versatility, despite being a big synchro combo deck, the angle of restricting you chose was the attribute, not the summoning method. So this does allow us to use those kinds of cards, and we have a lot of really good candidates. There's Bahamut Shark, Kragan. Stealth Kragan is probably one of the best rank 4 monsters ever printed, in my opinion. I think that we have enough of a pool here to justify a 3.
That seems fair.
Because also, I know we have this field spell. Obviously, we need this field spell for most of our stuff to work. So there's not another field spell that we would keep on the field very often, but you know, a legendary ocean, normal
you know what I
ocean
should've
dragon
done?
lord Kyriushin.
You know what I should have done? I should have treated Levia Cannon as Umi. I'm kicking myself that I didn't do
would
that
have been
just for the meme.
so funny. And then it'd be able to keep the effect on for longer. And awesomeness, it's a 5. This all came together really, really cool. Each of the synchros have their own little unique effects that lends credence to the idea that these are giant war machines that are hiding just beneath the waves. And like we were both geeking out about, Oshalosis does have the laser cannon effect from Final Fantasy X. So
Yeah.
it's bonkers, and you were able to reflect that in the actual effects. So I can't not fall in love with that immediately. 16 on the Nova
Squidward.
scale. These cards are awesome.
Squidward, they got the Navy! Not the Navy!
Not the Navy.
I had a lot of fun making these. Ocealosis is a beast. Open Fire is like one of the best trap cards I think I've ever designed. War Serpent is really fucking cool. I'm in love with these cards, and I'm glad I got to share them with everyone.
And I'm glad that we were able to get them shown off. Twitch can't stop us now! So yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you have a good one. And once again, thank you for showing these off. These are awesome.
Thank you for having me. See ya.
Yeah, see ya. Bye-bye! Alrighty. So, let's reset that. And big thank you again to Nyx. Let's see who's up next, huh? We got that out there. Okay, double checking once again. Is Blue Gem here? Do we have Blue Gem? I like their voice. Me too, Quilava. I think Nyx has a very strong presentator's voice. And I mean, they have to have had a really good one. They basically did what I usually do, where I talk about the cards. They took the reins on that one. And honestly, I'm glad. My voice could use a rest. Don't jinx it, Nova. Jinxing doesn't exist. I spit in the face of your superstitions. Okay. I don't see Blue Gem here, so open call for a random... Random Pup is actually not presenting today, so... we can go ahead and talk about that. Actually, we only have 2 presenters left. It's Blue Gem and Rex Raptar. Rex, I know we're a lot later than you intended. Do you want to go ahead and present now? never too late for gingerbread cookies. Never. Sure, why not? Okay, let's get Rex. Let's get Rex's cards pulled up here. It's should be my last dueling book one here. Two
Hello.
Xyz. Hello. How you doing today?
Alive.
Hey, honestly, some days it's all I can hope for. All right, do I have the correct ones pulled up here? The Spire ones.
Yes, you do.
Awesome, cool. So, first off, is there anything about these cards that you want to talk about really quickly? Any info about our new batch of cards?
I hope everyone has prayed today. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has come for us, and He is making sure you did Bible studies.
Oh, uh-oh. Chat, don't tell Rex that I'm agnostic, that I'm an atheist. Don't tell him that. I've definitely consumed the blood of our Lord and Savior today. I'm ready.
Don't worry, I ain't Christian either. I just like reading mythos.
Alrighty, so we're starting with the two Xyz monsters, it looks like.
Yep.
Alright, we have Epta Amrites dash Valov, a rank 7 illusion Xyz monster with 2700 attack and defense, requiring 2 or more level 7 monsters as material. Each time any number of cards are destroyed or banished, this card gains 200 attack and defense for each until the end phase. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. During the main phase or battle phase, as a quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, destroy a card on the field, then you can detach one more material from this card, then banish a card on your opponent's field or in their graveyard. An Xyz monster that was Xyz summoned using this card on the field as material gains the following effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can attach up to 4 monsters from your graveyard or banishment to this card as material. Okay, so we make this. Essentially, we detach 1 for a pop, or detach 2 to also steal a card out of our opponent's graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, banish 1. Okay, so get to do a little extra banishing. And then we want to rank this up and then get even more material under it.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to write something down here really quickly, just as a note for later. Okay, got that. All right. Next up is Spire Scriptures, a rank 5 Dark Illusion Xyz monster with 2100 attack and defense, requiring 2 or more level 5 monsters as material. If a card in your possession would be sent to the graveyard, you can banish it instead. You can attach a material from this card to destroy 1 card on the field for every 3 banished illusion monster with different names. An Xyz monster that was Xyz summoned using this card on the field as material gains the following effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can attach up to 2 monsters in your grave or banishment to this card as material.
Now, you all may be thinking that spell there, that's a rank up magic. We don't fuck with those. We don't like rank up magics. Pure monster effects to get this shit out.
Yeah, why would we, right? It's only one of the most iconic ways to rank up in the game.
Nah. Utopia can keep it. I'm good.
Okay,
No hope in this archetype.
Yeah, that's a girl's name. Get out of here. There's no girls in Christianity. Alrighty. Next up on the list was Sotomora.
Yep.
A level 5 Fire Illusion monster with 2100 attack and 200 defense. If this card is in your banishment as a quick effect, you can destroy 1 card you control, and if you do, special summon this card. You can use Xyz monsters you control as Xyz material for an Xyz summon, using its rank as if it were a level. Hey. During the main phase as a quick effect, you can target 2 illusion monsters you control. The levels and ranks of all monsters you control become the combined original levels and ranks of those 2 monsters. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon using monsters you control. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn.
There you go. Seems pretty simple game, right?
Yeah, easy. It's my mind is already all wrapped around it. I'm gonna recap it for the audience though, because I know that their mind meat might not be as girthy as my own. So we summon this from. We want to get this banished so we can summon it out. It in general lets us use Xyz monsters as Xyz material, and then as a quick effect, it does the Infinitrack thing where it combines the two levels, and then we immediately Xyz summon.
Yep.
Okay.
We always take a page out of someone else's book, you know.
Yeah,
Helps
no.
get that prompt every card text there.
Yeah, all good artists steal. We know this. But in like a cool way.
Yeah, we get inspired.
Yeah. All right. So what's next here? I don't think I have any other directions here.
My fear was right. The Google Doc did freeze on. I guess next we can do either a level 2 or we can go over the spell traps.
Yeah, let's do Spire Ahaz, a level 2 fire illusion monster, 1000 attack, 200 defense. If you control an illusion monster, except a copy of this card, you can special summon this card from your hand or banishment. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 4 cards of your deck, and if you do, special summon an excavated illusion monster, also banish the rest. Otherwise, banish all excavated cards face down. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add a Spire spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Ooh, that's dangerous.
No whiffing. You whiff, you're screwed.
Yeah.
No whiffing.
No, don't do it. You could build an all illusion deck and still just show 3 spell cards and be all like, hey, that's tough. Those aren't illusion spells.
Oops, 2 Ash, 2 Veiler. Well, they're gone.
Bye-bye. Hope you brought a Omega to return those to your graveyard. Alright, let's see that spell card. Earthly Spire Beginnings is a continuous spell card. If this card is in your banishment, you can destroy 1 illusion monster you control, and if you do, add this card to the hand. You can banish 2 cards in your graveyard, to look at the top 6 cards of your deck, then place any of them on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. If an illusion monster is banished, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end phase, or destroy it. So this seems to be the card where the entire deck revolves around. It's popping our cards, so we get to, like, get Ahaz's effect. It banishes cards out of our graveyard, which allows their inherent summon effects to work. Or not inherent, but, like, their summon effects to work. It manipulates the cards on the top and the bottom of our deck so that our excavating effect doesn't just screw us over. And then it also comes with a negation or destruction. This card is wild.
I'm done with negate and destroy. We're done with that. It's old design. Do one or the other.
Negate or destroy. Choose now. Alrighty.
Don't you dare pop the babies.
This is a 0 dinosaur zone. Alrighty. I need to see what Celestial Spire Endings is doing. If this card is in your banishment, you can destroy an illusion monster you control, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You can banish 2 cards in your graveyard, excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, banish 1 illusion monster and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you do, take control of an opponent's monster until the end phase. And if you do, it becomes an illusion monster until the end phase. Otherwise, banish all excavated cards face down. If an illusion monster is banished, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end phase, or destroy it.
There you go. All great things come in twins.
Yeah, so now we can negate and destroy just across 2 cards.
Yay. Woohoo!
All right, let's go. Modern card design at its finest. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and check out Spire Manasa, a level 2 illusion fire monster, 1000 attack, 200 defense. If you control an illusion monster except Spire Manasa, you can special summon this card from your hand or banishment. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 4 cards of your deck, and if you do, a special summon an excavated illusion monster, also banish the rest. Otherwise, banish all excavated cards face down. If this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can add a Spire monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so it looks like they all have that thing where they can excavate 4 and then get an illusion.
Yes, the level 3s and 2s do that. Then they have separate effects based on being destroyed. And level 5 is, of course, your Playmaker.
Okay. So, Japeth, if this card is destroyed by battle card effect, you can place up to 2 of your face-down banished cards on top of your deck. And if you do, banish the top 2 cards of your deck. Which helps to fix the issue with us randomly banishing our off-theme cards.
Mm-hmm.
And Shem, if this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can return up to 2 illusion monsters from your banishment to your graveyard. Now, that one I don't get. Don't we want our cards to be banished?
So we want the cards banished, but we also need fuel in the tank. So that's the gimmick of this deck, is you run out of cards in your deck too quickly, and all of them are going to be banished. Doesn't matter what you try to do, they're getting banished. Something's gotta be in the graveyard eventually. That's why they have 200 defense.
Oh, right. They're all fire monsters, right. What was I thinking? Okay. Well, that is a pretty succinct group of cards. It works with just illusions in general, so we can summon all of those out, so we can tech in stuff like the Chimera stuff. Earthly Spire and Celestial Spire are pretty good.
They lock into fusions. Get this man, chat. He don't know.
No! Ah! Well, that just means we're not using the Xyz cards, dummy. Counterbreaker.
That's fine. They're both quick plays. You get one each turn.
Yeah. Golly. Okay. So, I guess my question is, what are we... So Spire Scriptures, we can take one of our level 2s, combine it with Spire Scriptures. We have 2 level rank 7s. We overlay that for Velov. That gets the material effect.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world Xyz monsters are we making on top of Velov?
Well, if
It has
you would
to
like
be
to look at the side deck.
Minimum rank 9. Oh, Lord. All right. Of course. Okay.
Now use the level 3s. We're making rank 10s, boys.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So Valdrith. This is one of the new ones. I gotta remind myself. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, detach a material, negate the activation, then detach a material from this card to destroy a card on the field. At the start of the damage step, if this card has, with material attacks, destroy 1 card on the field. If this Xyz summon card is destroyed, destroy... This card is just popping everything.
We're making the 10 commandments with the 7 sins, boys. It's all coming together.
Okay, yeah, so that would put a lot of material under Ravenous Tarantula, you're right. What does it do with material? See, summoned... It just blows up cards every turn.
Pop, motherfucker.
Get out of here.
That's all we got.
Yeah, that's a lot. Holy shit.
All I'm saying
and
is
there's sinful...
Zeus goes crazy.
Yeah, there's sinful spoil cards here because Diabells is an illusion monster. We can summon this.
Dude, and her trap sets up at level 5 for next turn. AKA our opponents. Quickies.
Folks, take a look. This is the card that kills pendulums. We've had a lot before, but this just blows them out of the water. Alrighty. Well, I think I've seen enough here. Is there anything else that I need to keep in mind before I start assigning numbers to these things?
Aloof Lupin is a good boy. He fits in all banner stacks. Don't fact check me on that.
Yep, I agree with this. Alrighty, so novelty. Illusion is already pretty new, so having more illusion decks is pretty cool. We're using Xyz monsters, Xyz material without using rank up magics based. Good for us. I I literally don't think, outside of some examples we were talking about earlier, that there's very much like the Spires. So I think it's a foreign novelty.
Damn, Chad. Boy, he really slayed the Spires.
Was that it? Was that what we were waiting for the entire time?
Perhaps.
Look, this is meant to review your custom cards, or it's not your open mic night, okay? Give the jokes to professionals, please.
So where are they then?
Never mind. You can handle this. You got this. I'm giving you my crown.
There you go.
Objectivity. I think our problem-solving card text here was clean. Mixing levels and ranks is always a dangerous territory, but I didn't see anything. I didn't see an issue with it. Illusions are a pretty limited card pool at the moment, so there's not a lot we can mill off the top outrageously. As for our power level, I'm not seeing anything in here that's too egregious, so I think we can give it a 5 in objectivity. Versatility, it's really coming down to our illusion pool, but really quickly, before we continue, Kangas Casts, hello! Great to have you over here. Thank you so much for raiding in. Good to see you around these parts. Folks, we're reviewing custom cards. How was your stream? How's your stream, Kangas? Hey, big fan... Stop. Stop it. I'm a big fan of you. I love your casting. You're very charismatic. Let's get a shout out for this guy. So the ended Diamond 1, 3 wins from Master. Oh, just 3 away. Holy cow. I gotta get back on it. I've been deranked so much now. I gotta get back on that climb. I'm glad you had a good one. All right. Versatility. I think it's a 3 on this one because it works with the entire, at least main deck illusion pool, and there's some pretty good cards for that. We have, as you pointed out, Nightmare Apprentice. Nightmare Magician is really strong. And Awesomeness. All right, take care, Kangas. Have a good one. Thank you for sending along your people. I will make sure that they are mostly taken care of. Really quickly, let me update this. Okay. So, I like the cut of your jib here. I think these are pretty nifty. I want to give these a 5. I really do. But there is an issue with these cards that I have noticed as we've been looking over them. Do you know what they are? Do you have any idea what it might be?
I don't know. All I'm saying is, picking a 5. He hates Christians, boys.
Okay, well, my religious standing aside, there is something that I'm religiously holding to when it comes to illusion monsters, and that is they destroy monsters in battle!
It's a shitty gimmick. They need to lose it.
That's not a gimmick, it's their whole identity! That's all they do!
It's a normal monster.
I
and
don't.
immediately gave him a normal monster.
Jaeger
You don't
Ghoul.
do
They
shit
can't help. It's
to
a
your
normal
bells,
monster.
Chelsea.
It can't do it. It's a the one rule you had for illusion monsters, and you broke it.
Awesomeness 111, gang. He voted.
No, I've been owned.
Shitty gimmick.
Anyway, I've had my fun here.
Halloween.
17 on the Nova scale. These are pretty cool. I like
Hell yeah.
them. Alrighty. Well, thank you for dealing with my gooberness. Thank you so much for sharing these off. And I will catch you next time, alright?
Catch y'all next month when we inevitably have stream failure again. See ya.
Yeah. Diabells doesn't have the effect. Yeah, because Diabells is a failure. She's one of those girl failures all of you can't shut up about now that we've had the Diabell Star lore, okay? That's what makes them a villain. Okay, that's true. Exactly. There are two cards that do the wrong illusion thing. There's Diabells, which I take personal offense to because they have an effect, and Jaeger Ghoul, who can't help it because it's a normal monster. They can't both be failures. Lemon, please, you're having unrealistic expectations of women, okay? There are just some women out there who are failures, and we have to embrace this, okay? Whole point, the villain can destroy things. That's fine, as long as we make sure that we come together and recognize that that's villainous. And Nightmare Apprentice. Nightmare Apprentice. This card battles, neither player monster destroyed by that battle. I remember to have it. That's a pretty new card. They didn't forget about it. Diabell Star and Diabells are both failing, and we love them. Honestly, it's their best character trait. So, yeah. That's my stance on illusion monsters. Either commit to the gimmick or don't. And if you don't, to the woods with you. I'm putting you in the device personally. Alrighty. Okay, this one's Blue Gem. This one is Cernite. Let's go ahead and check out a random Pups card. Let's go ahead and check out the Gingerbread. The Gingerbread cards. Reset. Turn this light down a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Alrighty. Restart. Row battle. Alright. Gingerbread archetype. There is such a thing as too much power. Cards that inspired me to make this archetype is Gingerbread House. So we all saw this during the Golden Castle of Stromberg video. During your opponent's standby phase, you can have as many monsters as your opponent controls, gain 600 attack, then destroy as many as possible with 2,500 or more attack, and if you do, gain life points equal to the number of monsters destroyed by 500. The attack gain remains even if this card leaves the field. It's a late Christmas put on, but all I want for Christmas is you. No, I will not let the copyright bots get me on this one. Not today, at least. All right. First up, we have Gingerbread Architect, a level 2 Earth Plant monster with 700 attack and 1,000 defense. When this card is summoned, you can add a Gingerbread House card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Gets one of our... Now, the fact that it's a Gingerbread House card presumes that there will be more Gingerbread House cards. So, we'll see where that goes. Gingerbread Chef is a level 2 Earth Plant monster with 500 attack, 900 defense. Once per turn, you can increase one monster's attack that your opponent controls by 500 and special summon a gingerbread monster except Chef from your hand. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you use this effect except plant link monsters. Already a pretty good company to be in. Isn't Gingerbread House already a card? Yeah. They're putting this in here so that we're all aware of what the card is. Alright, next is Gingerbread Knight, a level 3 plant earth monster with 1500 attack and 0 defense. When this card battles another monster, the other monster gains 1000 attack until the end of the battle phase. This card can attack each monster your opponent controls once each. You can only control one Gingerbread Knight in attack position. Huh. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing how this will all factor in later, because the Chef one makes sense. By boosting their attack, if boosted their attack, that's permanent, and then we wait for Gingerbread House to blast their card when it goes on to their turn. That makes sense. But if Gingerbread Knight gives them 1000, but only till the end of the battle phase, we're gonna need some other effects to work with that one. Can I schedule for tomorrow? 1 second. Let me stop the timer really quickly. Blue Gem, if you want to cover today, we can do today after this one if you want. If you want to reschedule, we can if you have no other choice. I'm gonna be honest, Saturday is getting pretty packed. If you're flexible on it, let me know. But if not, we can get you rescheduled for tomorrow. Okay. You can have multiple knights in defense position, but multiple knights could stack up the thousands if they're in attack position. Monster gains attack at the end phase. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still confused about how this factors in, but I'm sure we will find more. I'm gonna wait until we have all the info before we before we make snap judgments on the gingerbread. I really thought that I would be able to go this done before my locals, but the stream had to crash. Okay, that's true. Then yeah. Let me know if we can do it next week, let me know, but if not, we'll get you slotted in for Saturday. Okay. Next up, Gingerbread Dragon, Link 3, Plant Earth Monster, 2350 attack. It has the left, up, and upper right. So it's the up left, up right, and left. It requires 3 level 3 or lower plant monsters, so we can't cheat this. If a monster this card points to has 2700 or more attack, destroy that monster. Monsters this card points to gain 500 attack. Quick effect, once per turn, you can target one face-down card in the main monster zone and flip it to face-up defense position. Okay, there we go. Now that makes sense with Gingerbread Knight. Now we're getting it, because we can summon Dragon to a zone a opponent's monster is in. It gives them a 500-point boost, so if they're anything 2200 or higher already, they just automatically get destroyed. But if we have Gingerbread Knight attack into it, it gains 1000. So now the amount that it needs to have is what did I say? It was 2700, it's 22. So we have to have 1200. It'd have to have 1150 or less attack to not automatically get destroyed. And because it triggers on battle, so I think it's before damage step. Maybe we could attack into another monster at points to spread the boost around. Not sure, but I see what's going on with this one. That's I see what's going on with that. So now I see where that's going. And target one face on monster in the main monster. Okay, it can be either player's main monster zone. So it has flip mechanics. And also forces them face up so that they get the attack boost from Gingerbread House so it can be destroyed. So, okay. Gingerbread Town field spell card. This card is treated as Gingerbread House, so we can search it off of our first monster. If you control a card that has the original name Gingerbread House, you can activate its effects during either player's main phase. Okay. Your opponent's monsters gain attack equal to their ranks or levels times 100. If a monster with 2400 or more attack is on the field, negate the effects of those monsters. If a monster with 3000 or more attack is on the field, destroy that monster and gain 200 life points for each monster destroyed by this effect. Oh. Okay. So that strips them of any effect or effect protection so that the gingerbread house can pop them, and if you can get up to 3000 before then, town takes care of it. Okay, this is all coming together. I'm digging. Gingerbread Baking, a spell card effect. Reveal 3 gingerbread monsters from your deck, then your opponent randomly adds one of the revealed cards to your hand, then your opponent's. If you control a gingerbread house, you can special summon the added monster. So it randomly adds one of the revealed cards to your hand and then your opponent's hand. So because the way that's worded, that sounds like you get it and then your opponent gets it. But I assume what it's supposed to be is you randomly get one and then your opponent randomly gets one. And then we take the last card and then we shuffle it in, I have to assume. And then if you control a house, you can special summon it, so you don't have to use your normal summon on it. Okay. Gingerbread Frosting, equip spell card. Equip this card to a gingerbread monster. The equipped monster gains 500 attack. Makes it bigger. Gingerbread Canes, continuous trap card. Gingerbread monsters can attack directly if the only monster your opponent controls are in defense position. I didn't finish deleting part of this old effect. Got it. Okay. Gingerbread, the lore of the gingerbread. All right, we got to read this. We have 6.5 minutes left. Increase your own opponent's monsters' attack to destroy them by dragon or gingerbread house or town. Tips and tricks. Because all cards are plants, they can work with most of the Rika cards except for their Link 4 and 5, as Gingerbread Dragon would destroy them when summoned. Wait a sec, what? Really? It destroys our own cards that it points to? If a monster it points to has... I'll be. Fair enough. No, but actually that's fine, though. Like, it dies, our Rika monsters in the graveyard, and then we use their own effect to bring him back. But Rika... No, that's Rika. Rika is a whole different thing. Aroma cards can be paired since most cards have attacks under 2400, so Gingerbread Town won't negate their effects. And since House Town has you gain life points when it destroys a monster, this can trigger the effects of the aroma cards. Oh, okay. Gingerbread House affects our opponent. Gingerbread Town affects both of us. That's why Dragon is specifically at 2350, because it's just under that 2400 mark. Okay. Paired most 400 want to get their own effects. And since House Town has you gain life points when it destroys a monster, that can trigger the effects of the aroma cards. You can run the level 7 Synchro monster Circle of the Fairies that can burn your opponent for half the attack of a monster destroyed by a battle with a plant monster and gain life points equal to the damage dealt by the previous effect. Seems pretty good. With the amount of attack gain the opponent is getting, you can run Reverse Trap to have them lose the attack. I never thought about that. That's actually super funny. They'll think like, I'm actually really powerful because you don't have any of your things that actually destroy me. And then you're all like, sorry, buddy. Boom, get reverse trapped. I made Gingerbread Town and Dragons affect both sides so that you can't just splash this with a deck with a giant attack monsters, which would have you control a monster with higher attack than what House Town Dragon would allow your opponent to have. Okay, okay. I can dig that. I can dig that. We want to try that. That's our way of making sure that we're playing in archetype. Huh. I think this is a pretty cool series of cards here. Let me go ahead and get the Nova scale reset, and we'll take a look at how the numbers come together on that. Circle of the Fairies mentioned. That's so LVK Replay Friday. The monthly custom card reviews are very sub Replay Friday coded. All of you keep bringing the most outrageous stuff that I'm forced to react to. It's just how it is here on the internet. Okay, Random Pup, if you have any additional information, please feel free to text it in the chat so that we can keep that in mind. For now, it is Nova Scale time. Novelty. Okay, so we have based an entire archetype around a gingerbread house, which itself is a card that boosts our opponent's cards so that we can destroy them when they get too stuffed with delicious gingerbread. So I have to give it a 5. I have no choice. There is no other archetype like this. Objectivity. Despite everything, these cards are not breaking the bank. I think we ran into a little problem solving card text with how gingerbread baking is supposed to work. So that's a little off, but everything else seemed okay. I didn't see anything that was like a direct conflict with the rules. So I think this is a 5 in objectivity. I think the power level is fine. And I think the one little tweak on there is okay. Versatility. Does this see play in a lot of different decks? Well, like it was noted at the bottom, it's a plant deck. Plant is one of the best archetypes when it comes to having a generic support, and they just keep doing it because the Raikas can work with this. Heck, Marakobe is itself a plant monster, so it's in this range already, so you can do all kinds of stuff. And we don't have any locks, so we can play all of the Raika cards. But it is just specifically those like plants and Raika cards themselves. It doesn't really branch out into anything else. I also have to assume it works well with decks that like care about our opponent having higher attack. There's got to be some kind of like Makonko splash with this where we make those attacks even deadlier. There's got to be some kind of Burning Mirror Force kind of deal that makes it like more lethal for our opponent to have more attack power, but that's not a very wide variety of things. So I think it's a 2 in versatility. It's plants and this, and that's largely it. And then awesomeness. You made a whole archetype based on Gingerbread House. I don't know how I can sit here and live with myself and say that someone took the time to do that and not give it a 5 in awesomeness. That was supremely cool. Thank you for putting all this together. The Gingerbread House cards are getting a 17 on the Nova scale. Fantastic stuff here. Random Pup, thank you so much. Magic Cylinders, time to shine. Exactly. Folks, put in Magic Cylinders so that we can start recycling those. Ibly Lock, thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. I hope you enjoy your stay while we talk about these wonderful custom cards. But please, don't Ibly Lock me. You can do it to chat. That's fine. Chat doesn't deserve rights, so we can lock them out of the extra deck all day long. All right, Pup. Thank you very much for showing this off today. Let's go ahead and put those right there. Ba-da-ba-da. Okay, and then Blue Gem, we're just going to move them over to Saturday right now. Let's go ahead and get that, and we'll get that fixed up later. For now, we have 2 left. We have 2 left today. There. And that one. let's go ahead and cover Blaze Rider's cards. Blaze Rider. They've got some Rose cards to talk about. Next month, I'll be locking up everyone with Iron Chant. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good at all. My friend has dubbed B Trooper Traptrix Rika as Beep Tricka, and I think that's beautiful. Beep Trippa. Beep Tricka. Beep Tricka. There we go. Alright. We're gonna run one more little thing of ads here really quickly. We're gonna go ahead and get those pre-rolls disabled. I don't need to go get some juice, so I think I'm gonna be here for a couple of minutes while we hang out. But don't go anywhere. And of course, if you want to directly support the channel, I think we're like 7 off from the sub goal this month. So we're this close. But either way, no worries. Don't go nowhere. A couple minutes. We'll be back. We're going to talk about this Rose cards. See you later. Okay. An extra 42 minutes. Golly, I thought it was 48 minutes. We should be able to get through these next two in 42 minutes, though. Honestly, it's so funny we haven't seen how to splash reptiles into Rega. Planet series, but reptiles are too janky for Rega. So, the funny thing is that Reptile is actually the best one out of all the Regas. Specifically because Ogdoadics have such good synergy with them. Plants and insects already have so much stuff that they're doing otherwise, and some plants and insects, like, butt up against each other, so they can't take full advantage of the Rika cards. But Ogdoadics are throwing stuff around like crazy. They have the new one that's, like, making a whole bunch of tokens out of nowhere, and that makes all your link stuff out of, like, just for free. And then, of course, Serpentine Princess makes the entire deck. Like, have you read Serpentine Princess? It's the funniest card in the entire game. Doesn't Reptile lock you super easily? Does Ogdoadic have a Reptile lock? I forget. Look forward to my custom card replay next month. Next, aren't you on the list? You're here for tomorrow. Is it not your tomorrow one? Will we have to wait until the March? I meant this month. Okay, got it. Hey, it's all good. I also dabble in being dumb from time to time. If it does have a lock, I don't think it's on anything that we actually use. But yeah, they have a ton of stuff. They have, like, there's also things like if you do the Snake Rain stuff, you can send Night Sword Serpent. That's a free monster to get your plays started. There's, like, the level 6 or the level 8 that you contribute. Yeah, it's level 6 that you contribute with just one monster. You bring it back and then you tribute it for Ogdoadic Daybreak, I think it is. That tributes it. It makes you 3 tokens. Nunu locks you, but only while it's on the field. And the Reptile is the Link 4 Rika. Because, like, the Link 2 is Plant. The Link 3 is Insect. The Link 4 is... Yeah, the Link 4 is Reptile. The Link 5 is an Insect again. But we have, like, other reptiles we can link off, right? Like, Alien Shock Trooper A-Frame is a reptile. So there's that. So there's ways to undo the lock. Anyway, that's enough talk about Rika. We have some other cards to talk about. We've got Blaze Rider in here with Rose cards and Akiza cards in general. I'm going to go ahead and get the timer started. Let's begin here. And also they made them in the Rush Duel card frames because they're based. Ebony Enclosure is a field spell card. You can destroy one other card you control or in your hand, and if you do, take a rose card from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. While you control a Rose Dragon monster or a Plant Synchro monster, all face-up monsters your opponent controls become plants, and all Rose monsters gain 500 attack and defense. This card is also always treated as Black Garden, and we do have a few cards that search it out. Really quickly, I'm going to pause the timer. I remember now that they sent along a little extra stuff in their message. I want to make sure that I'm reading that out really quickly, so I'm not skipping over that. But these cards are existing. These crystals all have this at the end of their activated effects. Okay. So the little 1 on there that we can, I don't know if maybe you can see it in there, but at the very end they wrote a little parentheses 1. It denotes if an effect can be used, how many times it can be used per turn, which I don't think is something in the Rush Duel templating. I think all their stuff is just generically once per turn anyway. So that's good to know that we have that there. Okay. So it searches your Rose cards, changes stuff into plants, and then boosts all your Rose cards. A more proactive field spell than Black Garden. I think if you're going second, this is the preferred one if you're going into a board. If you are going first, then you want to have Black Garden so you can play it after your whole setup to ruin your opponent's day. Amity Enclosure. Ugh. Good one. Good one. Okay. Phoenician Belladonna. Level 6 fire plant monster with 2000 attack, 0 defense. Trigger effect. If a monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard and then inflict 800 damage to your opponent once per turn. Also trigger effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add a level 4 or lower plant or rose monster from your deck to your hand. Very good, because there are rose monsters like Rose Archer that are not plant monsters, so we can add those as well. Ooh. Okay. I'm digging this. So we want to foolish this to graveyard somehow, so that we can get the search. And then, basically every turn when we lose a monster, this comes out, we get a free body, and we burn our opponent. Savage. I like it. It's a Amaryllis cluster we can actually play. Alright, Rosario Backlash. A continuous trap card. During your opponent's turn, you can target a plant monster on the field and destroy it, and if you do, draw a card. Kind of like, Pollen Storm? There's a similar spell card that does something like that. Trigger effect. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can target a Black Rose, Dragon, or a Plant Synchro monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack. Presumably, this is being used after it gets, like, blown up by your Black Rose Dragon, so you get to do Luxel burn damage. Petal Storm. Yeah, Petal Storm's what I'm thinking of. That's the one. Really quickly, there was... Okay, Rosario Backlash targets a plant monster on the field, destroys it, and draws you a card. I forget, does the field spell make our opponent's monsters... Oh, it specifically makes all of our opponent's monsters plant monsters. Okay, so it's meant to work with Ebony Enclosure. Pop it with Rosario Backlash once per turn, and we get a draw. Oof. Talk about your +2s. Rose Restriction. Quick play spell card. If you control Black Rose Dragon or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can... is the requirement, so you have to do that. Negate the effects of one face-up card your opponent controls, then have one monster you control gain 800 attack. Face-up card, so this can hit like spells and traps, pretty good. And if a Rose Dragon monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish the card from your graveyard instead. So it's protection. Also, it's a Black Rose Dragon or a Synchro monster that mentions it. I don't think there's very many of those, but it should work with Ruddy Rose Dragon, even though it doesn't mention it as part of its material requirements. It does mention it for, like, the additional effect where it, like, also pops the board, right? Like, it's Ruddy Rose, banishes all cards from all graveyards, and then pops the field if you use Black Rose Dragon, or something like that. Okay, Tidal Sirius. A level 7 water plant synchro monster with 2400 attack and 2800 defense. It requires a tuner plus one or more non-tuner plant or dragon monsters as material. If this card or an opponent's monster is special summoned, you can target one other face-up monster on the field and tribute it. Okay. As a cost, if a face-up card you control is destroyed, you can special summon this card from your graveyard but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay. That's just a solid card. It's proactive. Get rid of it. And when your opponent summons something, it's like Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, except instead of popping it and having like a level requirement, it just tributes the monster. Oh, it's one other face-up monster. Does that mean a monster other than this card? Or does it mean it tributes a monster other than the summoned monster? That one, I'm not entirely sure about. Golden Rose Roots, level 6, light plant monster with 2400 attack and 1600 defense. Summon condition cannot be normal summoned or set. If 2 or more players control a plant monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, so it works well with the field spell. Continuous effect, while you control Black Garden, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Okay, so it's like Rose Tentacles if it was good. We get Ebony Enclosure. That counts as Black Rose Garden. Or does Black Garden. All their monsters are plants now. Once we get a Black Rose on board. If we get what plant on our field, that's 2 plants. We get this. Punch all our opponent's monsters. Lakunga. Okay, that's our Akiza Black Rose Dragon cards. These are pretty nifty. Alright, let's explore what they've got to offer. Let's do the Nova scale. So, novelty. So, we're updating our Black Rose Dragon cards. But also, it's also more specifically Black Garden. Like, we can't escape the Akiza stuff. But this is a bit more focused on the idea of making our opponent plants, which shows up in very early Akiza stuff, but then never shows up ever again. And honestly, I think that is not only a cool mechanic that was dropped, it's also more relevant than it's ever been now that we have several generic cards that care about their typing. This has a lot more utility in disrupting plays. We have a Black Garden alternative, which is nice. We have retrains of 2 monsters that are nice. I think that we've got a solid... It's not 5, because we are basing it off of our old cards, and it's a well-known enough card that I don't want to give it, like, the Gingerbread House treatment. But I think we got a 3 in novelty here. I think there's some pretty spicy ideas here that I'm liking, being mixed in with some of more traditional plant cards. Objectivity. Are these cards worded correctly? So, the interesting thing is that it's using the rush dueling format for a lot of these things, and I'm not entirely up to date on how that is supposed to work, though I do like that because it's a lot cleaner. It does emphasize which things count as cost, which are the effect, what you have to have on board to actually make it work. And I don't think we saw anything that was out of the norm. Everything worked pretty well, so it's a 5 in objectivity. Versatility. So Black Garden can be played in a lot of random-ass decks because of how it works as a way to keep our opponent from... Or, keep our opponent's offensive capabilities down while they summon a whole bunch of monsters. It also has weird FTK applications. These cards, though, also require Rose Dragon, which itself is a generic card, but it is not it's not where it used to be back in the day, where every deck was playing Black Rose Dragon just cause. And even things like the Red Rose Dragon cards are only limited to Dragon Link if you're not playing the dedicated deck itself. As far as plant, I mean, Phoenician Belladonna, I could see this being played in a lot of plant decks just because if it goes to the graveyard, you get a level 4 or lower plant or rose monster. Sylvans would dig this. Like, if you tip this off the top with Hermitry, you get a draw and then you get a search. Like, that's wild. Rosario Backlash is specifically for this deck, though. Because only our cards make our opponent's monsters plants. Same with Golden Rose Roots. I could see Tidal Soreus being used as, like, I'm going to sit on the synchro kind of deal. And Rose Restriction is just general good Black Rose Dragon stuff. So I think versatility is like a 2. There's some cards in here that we could put in wider plant lists, but not a lot of them. Otherwise, it's just specifically our Black Rose Dragon plant cards. Awesomeness, though, I went through all of these, and I was pretty impressed with the ideas for all of them. I like where they're going. It takes some of Akiza's weird stranger cards and gives them a retrain that makes them functional. I gotta give it a 5 in awesomeness. I really respect the craftsmanship on all of those, so it's a 15 on the Nova scale for me. Those are pretty solid cards. Plant pile game. That's right. Got to add to the plant pile. We got to add to the PP. We got to make the PP even bigger. All right. That's right, folks. That's right. PP gang, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Rush Duel format, but it seems to be official TCG cards. That's why they have the number, I think, in the note. Yeah. They wrote that down to show if that effect is like a hard once per turn or something. So that was pretty heads up. Nobody goes harder than the PP gang. That's so right. Mega Kombi, you're so right. Alrighty. So this means we have one person left tonight to talk about, and it is Sir Knight JCB's cards, and they have commissioned an artist who all of you may know, all of you could be familiar with. Let me get their info pulled up here so we can get them linked. It is Molten Gates! Folks, make sure you go give them a look because their art is fan-flibberty-tastic. Because we've got Gun Can Suship cards, D2 Flick! Thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. You're just in time for the Suship Customs! I also have art from Molten Gates. Yo! Molten Gates is savage, dude. Their art is always at like 11 out of 10. Wrong, I'll die of shock. Not that one. Was it represented like last month? I think he showed them off last month. I think he showed off like this picture and this picture. But we didn't get to see like the whole actual archetype. Okay, they sent some notes. It's going to be covering... I'm going to get this off screen. I just think I need to see these ones. So not flashing between the colors really quickly. So we got these one. Premise before starting. Because most of the Guncan Xyz monsters only mention Guncan monsters special summoned from the extra deck, I took the creative liberty to make other super types for the archetype on top of other quality of life changes. In this case, one is a fusion and the other two are pendulums. Also, quick shout out to Gates Molten from Twitter for making the art for the first 2 highlighted cards. Yeah, so they made the art for... Oh, Ninja Boy 2026. Thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. Get ready for some Suship action. Yeah, they made the art for Guncan Suship Chinook and Chinook the Gunkan Suship Wrecking Dragon. I love when archetype names are folded into other words that changes the context of them. It's so good. Okay, so let me go ahead and get the timer started, and we will begin with the first one, Gunkan Suship Chinook, a level 5 Fire Aqua monster with 1,000 attack and 600 defense. If you control a Gunkan monster except Gunkan Suship Chinook, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then if you control Gunkan Suship Shari, you can apply this effect. Fusion summon a Chinook the Gunkan Suship Wrecking Dragon from your extra deck, using monsters you control and or detaching material from Gunkan Xyz monsters you control as Xyz material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target a Gunkan Suship Shari in your graveyard or banishment, place it on the top or bottom of your deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Ooh, okay. So free summon if we have Shari, makes our extra deck monster, uses material from our Xyz monsters, because famously, they kind of get trapped underneath our Xyz monsters, so it's good that they get used up in that manner. And then we can recycle our Shari, put it on top of the deck to get this out as well. Now, it's banished if it leaves the field, but we do have a rank 5 Xyz monster, so if we can make sure that we overlay that beforehand, we don't have to worry about losing it forever. So that's the bonus of being an Xyz deck. Speaking of which, our next card to show off here is Chinook, the Gunkan Suship Wrecking Dragon, a level 8 Fire Aqua Fusion monster with 3,000 attack and 600 defense, requiring a Gunkan Suship Chinook and one or more Gunkan Suship monsters with different names. Oh, so it doesn't have to use the Shari. We can just use any material underneath the Xyz monsters. Must first be fusion summoned. If this card was fusion summoned using a monster whose original name is Gunkan Suship Chinook, this card's effects and effect activations cannot be negated. So no cheating the name. You can, you just can't avoid your opponent doing interaction. If this card is fusion summoned using Gunkan Suship Shari, okay, so we do want to be using that. You can draw one card for each material used for its This card is fusion summoned using a Gunkan monster except Chinook and Shari. Again, this effect. Okay, so let's say you have the rank one of the rank 4s on board. It has both his material on there. Let's also say that you have the Shari on board, which can special summon the Chinook from hand. You fuse the Chinook, the Shari, and the 2 Suships underneath the Xyz monster. That's 4 material. You're drawing 4 cards off this? And presumably one other effect, because there's going to be a non-Chinook, non-Shari underneath that Xyz monster. Once per turn as a quick effect, you can banish one Gunkan monster from your graveyard or detach a material from a Gunkan Xyz monster on the field. Then target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. Then you can equip one of them to this card as an equipped card that gives it 200 attack. Okay, so that's not the biggest issue. Gaining that much attack power is, pretty small, but it lets you utilize your material as quick effect removal. This card is I'm pogging. Running out of auction that way. Yeah. Cause it's good. Alright. 20's kind of wimpy by comparison with the rest of it. True, the attack boost is small, but everything else about it, like that, can't detract from it. Like the card, that's just good. Okay, let's check out the third card we want to be taking a look at. Gunkan Suship 3-for-1 deal. When you activate, it's a quick play spell card. When you activate this card, you can also reveal a Gunkan Suship Shari in your hand. Target 2 Gunkan monsters in your graveyard to special summon them. Then if you revealed Shari in handed activation, you can special summon a Gunkan Suship Shari from your hand, grave, or banishment. Also, you can immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon a Gunkan Suship Xyz monster that mentions one of those special summoned monsters using any of these special summoned monsters as material. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Gunkan Suship Xyz monster you control. Detach as many material from it as possible, and if you do draw that many cards, you can only use one effect of this card per turn and only once per turn. Woo! So, in general, play this revives 2 Gunkan monsters. Already off to a great start. If you have the Shari, you don't have to summon the Shari you reveal. You can if you want to, but you can also recycle one from your grave or banishment, which is also really good. You get to conserve the Shari for later. Then you make any of your related Gunkan Suships using one of those summoned cards and the Shari, because you'd want to get the Shari, I would think, just to get the extra draw off of that. And then on a later turn, we can banish it from the graveyard and take a Suship that has all of its materials under it, detach 2, and then draw 2! Gunkan has a funny gimmick of all their defense being the yen price of the sushi board. That's true. This is true. I gotta scratch my forehead real quick. Okay. Okay, next up is Gunkan Suship over air and sea. And let's all take a moment to appreciate all this that's happening here. While you control a Gunkan monster and an Xyz monster, your opponent can only target Xyz monsters you control with the highest attack, their choice if tied. For attacks or card effects, you can detach up to 2 material from an Xyz monster you control, but you cannot detach material from that Xyz monster to activate this effect of Gunkan Suship over air and sea again this turn. So we can do it multiple times, but we can't do it using the same monster multiple times in a single turn. Then target one phase of card controls and apply these effects in sequence depending on the cards detached. If you detach a Gunkan monster, negate its effects as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monster with the same original name until the end of this turn. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So that gets rid of the card effect anywhere. And if you detach any other cards, send it to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of this card up to twice per turn. I can actually go after this next if that's okay. Oh, that's super okay, Blue Gem. Super okay. Okay, so it is protection. It keeps your opponent from only interacting with your biggest monster if you fulfill the requirements, but if you have a Gunkan Xyz monster, that should fulfill both of them. And then there's a quick effect, we can detach 2 material to negate and send cards to graveyard. I mean, how can I say no? Alright, next is Welcome to the Gunkan Suship Bar. The Gunkan Sushipwright Bar. A normal spell card. When activating this card, you can also reveal any number of Gunkan Aqua monsters in your hand. Activate one of these effects, or both in sequence, if you revealed a Gunkan card at activation. You can place 2 Gunkan Pendulum monsters with different names from your hand, deck, or graveyard in your Pendulum zones. We were warned about the Pendulum Gunkan monsters. And or excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, plus the number of revealed Gunkan Aqua monsters in your hand, then add an activated Gunkan card to your hand except a copy of this card. Also place the rest on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. If a Gunkan card you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your grave instead. So, just by revealing one Gunkan monster in your hand, any one of them, any of the Aqua ones, which is all of them, you get to place 2 Gunkan Pendulum monsters in your scales, and then look at, like, if you just reveal 4, if you get to reveal 1 monster in hand, you reveal 4, and then take any Gunkan card. This card is bronkers. It's so bronkers, folks. How's anything other but bronkers? Okay. Pendulum cards. Jiro Ono, the Gunkan Suship in training. Sushipwright in training. Level 4. Oh, okay, this is a Gunkan warrior monster, so it's not all of them. It excludes these 2 warrior monsters. They're not Aquas. Level 4, Warrior Pendulum, 200 attack, 1800 defense, scale of 3. As a pendulum spell, all Gunkan monsters you control gain 200 attack for each Gunkan card with different names you control. During the main phase, you can reveal any number of Gunkan monsters in your hand to draw that many cards, then place the same number on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Okay. Whew. As a monster, if you control a Gunkan monster, except a copy of this card, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can reveal a Gunkan Aqua monster in your hand to add a Gunkan Aqua monster with a different name than that monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if you control a Gunkan monster special summon from the extra deck, you can send a Gunkan monster from your deck to the grave. So, you get to search. You don't have to put the card back. And then, if you have an extra deck summoned Gunkan monster, you also get the Foolish Burial. Seems pretty slick. Alright, Oda and Nobunaga. Get out of here. Oda and Nobunaga, the Gunkan Sushipwright brothers. Level 5 Fire Warrior Pendulum monster, 1800 attack, 200 defense, with a scale of 6. As a pendulum spell, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal summon or special summon a Gunkan monster. If a Gunkan monster was added to your hand outside of the draw phase, you can reveal one of them. Add a Gunkan monster with a different type, with a different name than the monster that was from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of this card once per turn. Oh, with the same type but different name. So if we search one of the warriors, we have to grab the other warrior. If we search an Aqua, we have to get another one of the Aquas. As a monster, if you control a Gunkan monster or an Xyz monster that has Gunkan Suship Shari as material, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target a Gunkan monster that is a material of an Xyz monster you control. Wait. You can target a Gunkan monster that is a material of an Xyz monster you control from your grave or your banishment. That's a mouthful. Then declare a Gunkan monster's card name. This card's name becomes that name, also special summon it. Then you can either increase this card's level by 1 or reduce it by 1. You can only use the effect of this card once per turn. Okay, so this can act as any of the names. But we have to have it in rotation. It can't pull from the... No, you can declare any name. You declare any name, and then summon the monster from any of those zones. Wow. Okay, well, this card is ridiculously powerful. Our last card here, which wasn't listed on here, I don't think it was, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it anyway because it's here, is Gunkan Suship Chinook Class Destroyer, a rank 5 Fire Aqua Xyz monster with 3000 attack, 600 defense. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can apply these effects in sequence based on the materials used for it. If it was Shari, draw a card. If it used Suship Chinook, this card gains the ability to attack all of your opponent's monsters once each. On a 3000 body, that's not nothing. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase. Also, all monsters your opponent controls must attack if able. At the start of the damage step, if a Gunkan monster is special summoned from the extra deck battles an opponent's monster, you can banish it. Wow. So, it shuts off all interaction in the battle phase. If it's our opponent's turn and it's their battle phase, they have to attack. In general, they don't have to attack this one. But if this is the only one that you have, it's their only choice. And then any extra summoned Gunkan Suship can banish anything on fight. These are incredible. Is that a 200 defense fire monster? Rekindling target spotted. Logos went to hell because the decklist I used lied to me. You in fact do need the wanted engine. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Well, I commend you for trying to find a way to budget around the new engine, the new wanted engine. Anyway, That's a lot of cards. Let's go ahead and wrap things up with a bit of a Nova scale here. Just in case, I'm gonna... Oh, yeah. They have like 5 pages of information about combos that can be used with this one. I unfortunately do not have the time with us right now to get that figured out. But I am sure in the future, Cernite will let us know the true power of gun can suships. For now, let's take a look at the Nova scale. Novelty. So we're basing it on suships already. So it's not going to be a 5 out of 5 score. However, we are adding a warrior group to the team. We're adding pendulums to the theme. And we're adding fusions to the theme. So these are areas in which suships have not dwelt in before. So I feel like a 4 is warranted here. These are some pretty neat applications for the existing archetype, and I'm very glad that we get to explore those together. Objectivity. So these are some powerful effects that we have going on here, but I don't think any of them are ridiculously overpowered. Aside from the rank 5, being able to shut out the battle phase is pretty good, but it doesn't have any other protections otherwise, and if your only interactions in the battle phase, you're not a 2024 deck. The Suship Wrecking monster is actually pretty savage. There's a lot of draws that you can get out of this summon, and it has quick effect removal. It's strong. I wouldn't call it, the strongest, but it's pretty strong. So I think we have a 5 in objectivity here. I think we have some good options here, but we are playing Suship, and their bar is already set relatively low. Versatility. Will these cards see play in other decks? Well, Suship over Air and Sea can, I believe, because we can just remove the material to just send a card to graveyard. Yeah, just target one card on the field. Send it to the graveyard because it's not gun can monsters. And while the protection effect would require it to you to have a gun can monster, you can use the removal anyway. The gun can cards themselves, they are pretty much slaughtered into their own archetype, and Suships have played a little well with certain archetypes. I know that I made a big stink about how you could play them with magic keys, but I think we're pretty far past that. So I think our versatility here is like a 2. There's some things we can play them with, but not a lot of things. Awesomeness, though, it's more Suship cards, baby. I love the theme. We have a Chinook dragon. We're adding some pendulums. We got a Zeus reference in here. I can't give it anything but a 5 in awesomeness. They're too cool. So, Cernite, your new gun can Suship cards get a 16 on the Nova scale. Thank you so much once again for your support and for showing these off. These are fantastic. Butterblock, thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. What a name. I enjoy. The funny thing about Suship is its gimmick of drawing multiple cards can tend to draw it into staples and non-engine a lot. Yeah. Sometimes you just get your hands on your side cards out of nowhere because you just get random draws all the time, which is not to be underestimated. And with these custom cards, you can do that a lot. Like a lot. Okay. So, we were going to be finished, but Blue Gem showed up in the nick of time, which I am very thankful for. Let me go ahead and get their cards pulled up again, because I think I closed the tab. And let's go ahead and get that pulled up here. Wah. And I've got my headphones on. Blue Gem, if you are up for presenting, I am, or at least I should be ready to go. We'll see if I'm actually ready. by the time you show up. But I feel ready. Ba-da-ba-da. Let's close this out here. Close some tabs. Set some stuff up. Ba-bum. Delete that.
Hello?
Hey, Blue Gem, how's it going?
Not great.
Oh, yeah, right. Locals didn't go so well. I'm sorry about that.
$30 on that.
Yeah, what were you trying to run?
Tri Brigade, Fire King.
Ah. So if you had
Without the wanted engine.
if you had the wanted engine, what was the idea for the deck?
I don't even know. I don't know what the deck even does.
Okay, all right. Hey, well, I'm sorry about the.
Well, anyways, at least we have something I am sort of happy about.
Which is
More lore cards for hire.
Yeah, let's go. All right, look. So here's the thing. A lot of custom cards come my way. Sometimes I forget stuff, but you saying that has brought back the memories from last time, and I'm so jazzed.
Yep, we're doing beat.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well,
As you can even see from the normal monster there. Please tell me that updated. If that didn't, if I accidentally no, there's no way I sent you the wrong. Okay.
I do have a normal beat the unsure Rabby.
Okay. Yes.
Sick. Okay. Alrighty.
Much like the Raphael normal monster, read the last little line of text.
A Rabby who doesn't know what he wants to do with himself. He wants something that the Rabbies gave up long ago, but is just might be his calling. This card is always treated as a monster for hire. All right.
Not all of them will be normal monsters. This is probably the last normal monster I will make.
Hey, either or. It gets a little flavor in there.
So this deck also okay. So the deck is not great. I'm gonna be honest.
Well,
because it locks you out of your extra deck.
I'll be the judge of that. Thank you very much.
All right then.
All right, let's get started with Rabby Farmer. Where they're hiding over there. All right, a level 4 Earth Beast monster with 900 attack and 2000 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand by attributing a normal monster on either field. You can only summon Rabby Farmer once per turn this way. Once per turn, you can target one token on the field, destroy it, and all monsters you control gain a permanent 500 attack boost.
Yep.
So what I like here is that this specifically is going to murder any adventure players that you have to go up against.
Yeah.
That's a nice normal monster you have there. It'd be a shame if someone tributed it. Yup.
Here's the thing. This deck also likes making tokens.
Well.
Hello?
Alrighty,
Yep.
well, let's see. Rabby Farming Memory. Quick play spell card.
So here's what I want you to picture with the art.
Okay.
For the memory card, just imagine Beat just screwing up whatever job he is trying.
Excellent.
Like falling off of a tractor.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to fit in with like the lifestyle of their family, but nothing's working. But he wants to impress them really well. But really, we know what Beat's supposed to be. We know it. He just hasn't discovered it yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rabby Farming Memory is a quick play spell card. Activate one of these effects, but you cannot summon from the extra deck after activation. Target a special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it, or reveal any number of Rabby cards in your hand to summon food tokens to either player's field, or spell in trap zones equal to the number of revealed cards. Huh?
So the idea with that was you were also going to be able to tribute the tokens from the spell and trap zone. Also, just to block them out of their spell and trap zone.
Uh-huh. Oh, you're gonna get a bunch of pendulum players after your ass when this resolves. Oh my, uh-oh. You better be careful.
Good.
Now, the monsters in the spell and trap zones, are they being treated as continuous spells or continuous trap cards?
Continuous spell cards.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, this is going off to an outstanding start. I say affectionately. Big Rabby
Ooh.
Farm. Where's that one hiding? All right. Big Rabby Farm.
Just think of a big, just think of a big farm. That's literally all it is.
That's a big one. Field spell card, once per turn, roll a 6-sided die and apply the appropriate result. If you rolled a 1, 3, or 6, summon a Baby Rabby token, which is a level 1 Earth Beast monster, 0 attack and defense. If you roll a 2, 4, or a 5, special summon a Food token, which is a level 1 Earth Plant monster with 0 attack and defense. Now,
Yeah.
I don't suppose you can pay 2 generic mana and sacrifice the Food token to gain some life, huh?
No.
Ah, well, I don't think
You're
this is
already
gonna...
locking your opponent out with the tokens.
That's a shame. This isn't going to see play in the Samwise Gamgee deck, but, you know, we'll just... I'm sure there's other applications.
Probably.
Alrighty, Rabby Parting Gift. Normal spell card.
What do you... So, the art for this one, what do you think the parting gift is?
Okay, so I'm not looking at the effect yet, just the name. If it's the Parting Gift, I have to assume that this is after the point where Beat has committed to their new path in life and are about to leave their home, and the family's trying to give them a little something to remember.
Yep.
Yes. You did it. Alright, if you control 2 or more monsters for hire, special summon a Rex Freight for hire from your hand or deck. You can only use Rabby Parting Gift once per turn. So the gift is the egg.
Yes.
That's awesome. Take care of this, sweetie. I'm sure it'll make a great omelet one day. And for us, they were right. Because we would proceed to use and abuse Rex Freight for hire forever.
Yep.
Alright. Rabby Goodbye. This is a normal spell card. Tribute a Beat the Unsure Rabby you control to special summon a Beat Bladesman for hire from your hand or deck. There we go.
Yeah. There it is.
The tale has been told. We got some more time, though. I'm going to go ahead and read through the rest of these, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Rabid Papa Rabby is a level 8.
Wait, did I spell that wrong? It's supposed to be rabid.
Yeah, Rabid.
Okay.
Yeah, like... Rabid Papa Rabby is a level 8 Earth Beast Warrior monster with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. If a Rabby monster on the field is used for the summon of a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link summon on your opponent's field, special summon this card from your hand or deck. This card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, the zone the monster was in cannot be used. Uh-oh.
Just an overpowered boss monster.
Yeah. So I'm noticing it doesn't say until the end of the turn.
That's intentional.
I'm noticing that there's not any kind of shut-off mechanism on this. Okay. Good.
There isn't.
Good. Okay. Good to know that we are permanently scarring our opponent's field with this. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Rabby Old Library. Continue with spell card. During either battle phase, you can, as a quick effect, tribute one normal monster on the field to have all Rabby monsters you control gain 500 attack.
Where do you think Pete learned about the old ways of the Rabby?
Ah, fair. It's you did frame it as something old that they had lost, so
Mm-hmm.
they're now learning of the old Rabby bladesmen who wandered the fields
Yep.
and drew the blood of all the farmers that stood in their way. All right, Rabby Sitter, level 4 Earth Beast monster. When this card is special summoned, place Rabby counters on this card equal to the amount of food tokens, baby Rabby tokens, or Rabby fighter tokens you control.
Oh, that's not supposed to be there. Ignore the fighter tokens.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't seen any of those yet at all. Okay, so food tokens or baby Rabby tokens. You can remove Rabby counters from your field to activate this effect. If you remove 2, target a Rabby effect monster. That target gains 500 attack until the end of the turn. Remove 4, add a Rabby spell or trap card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Or 6, target a Rabid Papa Rabby in your graveyard and special summon that target.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this checks both sides of the field, right? No, only
Yes, it
ones that you
does.
control. So it doesn't count the ones that you give your opponent. It's just the ones that you have on your side of the field. So this can only get 4 counters by itself. Unless it was meant
Read
to
the
use
next
the ones that we
card.
give our opponent. Rabby
You
Sitter.
can get up to 10 tokens on your field, by the way.
Oh, right, because your deck puts him in the spell and trap zone. What was I thinking?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Rabby Sitter Memory is a quick play spell card. Activate one of these effects, but you cannot summon from the extra deck after activation. Target a Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or Link monster your opponent controls. Return to the extra deck and summon the used material to your opponent's field. Or reveal any number of Rabby cards in your hand to summon baby Rabby tokens to your field equal to the number of revealed cards. You can activate one card with this name per turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's more ways to generate more of those tokens. That way you can summon out Sitter and then get the 6 counters needed to summon Rabid Papa Rabby and then beat the ever-loving daylights out of your opponent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Tarnation. That is a big crew of cards. Is there anything else that we want to mention or bring up before we move on to No? None at all?
No, not really.
Okay, well then let me go ahead and get these numbers here. So, novelty. I think that the fact that we are summoning tokens as continuous spells directly into either player's back row is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that by itself is already like, I'm intrigued. I want to know more about what this does. I want to give it a 5 in novelty. That card, that's ridiculous. Objectivity.
All right, that's my first 5 in objectivity.
Oh no, 5 in novelty. My bad. Objectivity.
Oh, novelty. That's what I meant.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Well, congratulations on the thoughts that I know it's based on for hire, but this has some for hire cards, but it barely factors in, I think.
Yeah.
Objectivity. So the mechanisms by which you would put a monster token in the back row, it's not impossible. If we printed farming memories, it would have to specify the kind of card that it would be.
That's my bad.
Yeah, so that's a bit of an oversight, but like, other than that, I do like the idea. So that's all we have to fix there. Locking out our opponent's zones permanently. I don't think this would ever get to a point where it's like the Kashtira lockouts, because that could do it multiple times.
No, I do not intend for it to be like that. There is no possible way to get it to that.
Yeah. To be able to do that, you would have to attack with Papa Rabby over the course of 5 turns against a monster that doesn't have any protection, right? It can't be
Yeah.
targeted by your opponent's card effects, but it can still be destroyed. You can still make a bigger monster than it. That being said, while the Kashtira zone lock is more deadly, there is an off switch to it. There is a way to get around it. Rabid Papa Rabby does not say, like, those zones cannot be used for as long as this card is on the field. It just says that those zones cannot be
Wait,
used.
I copied Ojama King's effect for that. I thought that was already a thing. I thought get rid of Rabbit.
I guess as part of a continuous effect, it would do that. Never mind. If it's how Ojama King works, then never mind. Actually, it's a 5 in objectivity. That was the only issue that I had with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it would be
Alright.
one of those, like, permanently applied effects kind of deals.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, wait. Ojama King is a continuous effect. That shuts off. I guess this is also a continuous effect, though, but, like, it applies when you destroy a monster. I'm going to keep it a 5. This is strange territory. If I'm wrong about it, then I'm wrong about it.
Yeah.
Baggagear, thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. Versatility. So, the fact that we do lock out the extra deck is a bit of a mark. That being
Bit of a turn off for
said,
literally almost everything.
but that being said, those are both on the quick play spells, right?
Yeah.
One was on Sitter Memory. The other one, that was on Farming Memory, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that can only be... Yeah, so the thing is that these can be activated during the opponent's turn. So it's almost like a scapegoat type deal, where we can activate this during...
Wouldn't it lock you out of your extra deck if you, like, tried to make Underworld Goddess still, though?
Okay, yeah, if you wanted to access your extra deck at quick speed during your opponent's turn, yeah, you couldn't do that. But outside of that, you would just go, okay, activate this during end phase, reveal like 3 monsters, back over to my turn, I've got all these monsters. And it's actually even better, because if your opponent threatens to remove the card, or you need to use the I'm getting rid of this Fusion Synchro or Xyz, or I'm getting rid of this special summon monster, you have the flexibility to do that. I would say that these cards, like the restriction is not worded in a way on a quick play spell card that makes me not want to play this. These could still be really powerful. Now, granted, a lot of what makes those cards good for token generation is that we're playing them in... Oh, timer, be quiet. It does require you to have Rabby cards to reveal for it, which means you have to be very heavily invested in it, so we can't really splash this. So, while they're powerful, we're not going to be playing this in every deck, so... In fact, a lot of this stuff only really also works with Fur Hire, and maybe some kind of tri-type, tri-brigade nonsense. So I think it's a 2 in versatility. And it would be more for those quick play spell cards if the token generation didn't rely on the Rabbies, but honestly, I'm glad it does. Otherwise, that would be really busted. And then I'd have to dock the objectivity score, because that'd be too powerful.
Yeah.
And awesomeness. I like that we have a backstory for our Fur Hire monsters. I love them. I gotta give it a 5.
Yep.
These are grand.
Yep.
So, 17 for your Rabbies. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for supporting and showing these off. These were cool. I'm sorry you had
All right.
bit of a had a bad day going, but I hope things look up for you.
It's
And,
whatever.
you know,
Next month, I'm going to be doing another structure deck type one.
Any
Be
hints
prepared
as to
for
what we
that.
can expect?
Be prepared to get wet.
Oh no! I'm getting soaked. All right, take it easy. Have a good one. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Alrighty. Hmm. Lemon, I'm gonna be honest. I'm whipped. I think I'm gonna have to call it a night. So we'll have to get together next week to cover these. Okay, Arabi has a vanilla. Might be well to do unexpected die. Oh, we can do unexpected die in this. No worries. Watch it be super soaker machines and equipped for good or bad effects. Please understand. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alrighty. Well, that does it for me. Ooh, this is probably the biggest day out of our whole thing, but we still have more. We're not stopping. We've got an early day tomorrow. We have, what is it, 5 people? We have 6 people that we've got to cover. Now, it's going to be, we might start a little early tomorrow because I need to squeeze this in before my D&D game that day, and I want to make sure that I'm not holding everyone up, so maybe we'll do it a little early. So to make sure you don't miss it, make sure that you hit that follow button. That's right. I nested in a call to action during my outro. I am so innovative in my performance arts. Let me go ahead and drop some social links down here as well. If you enjoy what we do here, you're definitely going to come by the Discord. Some people come by and ask if they can show off their custom cards. It is for my patrons for this particular activity, but we do have a section on the Discord that anyone can access if you want to show off your custom cards to the rest of the community. My YouTube is also listed in there. That's where I post all of my normal stuff. We should be having a new episode showing up soon for one of the new Legacy of Destruction archetypes. We've also got a couple of other videos from that set, including Lightsworn and Ancient Gears for updates on those. You can also swing by my Twitter, where I do most of my announcements, and of course, my Patreon. That is where you can go if you want to be featured in these kinds of episodes. It also comes with a myriad of other benefits, like getting episodes early, being part of the patron-specific section of the Discord, making me happy. If that's something that you value, joining that Discord does that for me. And in a less jokey but related way, just highlighting the importance of Patreon support for creators like us. Direct support from our fans is way better than having to worry about YouTube's algorithm, because that can vary a lot. For instance, right now, and I'm sure a lot of creators are in the same boat, February and January are pretty bad times for ad revenue because that stuff tanks. We can do all the same stuff we usually do, but we don't walk away with as much money. I got my paycheck for this month a couple of days ago. It's not exactly stellar, so if you have a few extra dollars you can throw my way every month, it would mean the world to me. It helps make things a little more stable. My mental health is a bit better because I'm not worried about where my next meal's coming from. All of that helps make this keep going. But of course, if you can't, then please don't feel like I want you to feel like any less of a fan. Literally, can't do this if you're not here watching all this stuff. There's my giant jam. Once again, thank you all so much for stopping by. I'm going to throw you over to someone. I'm going to throw you over to people. Who's streaming right now that we should raid? I'm thinking it's Shiggy's. I think we raid Shiggy's. Phone? Hush. Hush your face. Alright. We're going to raid Shiggy's. Folks, Crystal Abundance is a good, grand friend of mine. Love them to death. They are kooky. They're zany. And they're just a gosh darn fun person to be around. So, get ready. Send all the love and energy that you've shown here. And as always, I will see all of you next time.